All right, hello YouTube. Welcome to episode number 40 for the Wizard and Glass Book Club. Stupid thing is changing over on me. YouTube's suddenly been doing this thing where it'll change my screen, and I don't like it. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and jump on in and get the intro started, and then we can explain why we're starting a little early on the live side. I mean, for anyone listening on the podcast, you don't know any different. You're just
But you saw the length. It might be longer.
yeah, it could. Yeah, that's probably true. All right, let's hit the intro and get going.
The Dark Tower by Stephen King. The man in black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed. Go then. There are other worlds than these. Death, but not for you, gunslinger. It's time we had our own palaver, I think, and it's going to take a while.
And yet, dauntless, the slug horn to my lips I set, and blew. Child Roland, to the Dark Tower came.
We are ka-tet, one from many. Let the palaver begin.
All right, hello and welcome to Dark Tower Palaver. This is our podcast covering Stephen King's magnum opus, The Dark Tower series, and the extended King universe, of course, because all things serve the tower. But, of course, in the book clubs, we are only talking Dark Tower. Of course,
Yeah.
that'd be foolish to just start talking about it or, I don't know,
The Stand.
Tommy Knockers.
Don't mention that name in my presence.
All right, yeah, so we are here. My name is Tad.
And I'm Peter.
And we're here for episode number 40 of Wizard and Glass. And on the live stream side, we are here a little bit early because as, I think it was like late last year somewhere that I went and plotted out the remainder of the things. And yeah, I think there was a few different spots that I just went a little bit off. And so I think over the time here, we've gone, maybe an extra subchapter here or there. And we've gotten to a point where it was a little over what we would normally do for an episode.
Yeah.
Pretty much finished us up on this book. Yeah, so there really wasn't a good way to actually divide it. It would have just been two tiny episodes if we were to actually split this. So this is our actual final episode for Wizard and Glass.
Month early.
Yeah, one episode earlier than we thought. So, and also wrapping on a nice round 40 number. That seems legit. So.
Both of our ages.
I got my Wizard and Glass shirt for the last time with absolute relevance here. So,
Yep.
I mean, I'll still wear it on occasion, but this is the last time that it really means something for the episode. So
Fits the theme.
yeah, indeed. Looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and dive on into the introduction stuff real quick. We don't have a spoiler warning because on the book clubs we say where we're at, or before we don't really jump ahead. We will have a spoiler section at the end where we can talk about things that are a little bit outside of this section. But we'll warn you about that before we dive into it, so you guys will have ample warning if you haven't finished the 7 primary books of the Dark Tower series. These are safe episodes, whereas the round tables. Not so much.
No, we've spoiled things in the intro.
Yes, before the intro in some cases.
Multiple times.
And then if you want to find the podcast, you can find us on Apple Podcasting. You can stream us on Spotify, Amazon Music, or Audible. Or you can find us on any classic podcasting service of your choice. If you want to subscribe, rate, and review us on any of those, we'd appreciate that. And then over at the live streams are over here at youtube.com/darktowerpalaver. We've been doing them since the double-digit days, so there's quite a few episodes in the bank. If you want to go watch old episodes or join us for the live streams here and be part of the conversation as we're talking here live, you can do that over here at youtube.com/darktowerpalaver. Of course, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications, as is the normal thing to ask on YouTube. Otherwise, the YouTube gods will destroy you and everyone you love.
And lightning teeth.
And lightning teeth. And they'll kill your dog.
Don't mess with people's dogs, Tad. We learned this. You don't mess with people's dogs.
Yeah, but YouTube, they're evil.
It's true. I mean, I was going to say something. Never mind.
We could probably even blame the baseball boy on this.
Good Lord.
That's a different story.
Hey, we don't talk about other books.
I mean, that was just a passing reference there. And then if you want to find the show notes, you can find it at darktowerpalaver.com. There's no show notes for the book club episodes, but it is the hub for all things Dark Tower Palaver. All the links that you might want to find for Dark Tower Palaver can be found over there. If you want to support the show, you can do that on patreon.com/darktowerpalaver. At that level, or at any level of support, you get access to our Discord server. You can chat with us all the time. You get access to our monthly hangouts, where we're right in the middle of the an It read.
Yeah.
We did that last month, and next month.
Next week will be our wrap up of It read. So
Yes.
next Friday.
So doing that on the Patreon side, and then if you you get access to all that at any level, and then if you get the highest level, you can co-host a show with us. And then if you want to contact us, Peter can let you know the ways to do that.
Best way to reach us is email at show@darktowerpalaver.com. You can also find us on all our social medias. We got Threads and Instagram. It's Dark Tower Palaver, all one word, no spaces. And then we got our Blue Sky account. It's at darktowerpalaver.bsky.social. And then we're on Twitter. It's at Dark Tower Pod. That's at Dark Tower POD. And then Facebook.com/DarkTowerPalavers, where you find us over there. And then check out our merchandise. We have a couple designs. It's tpublic.com/users/DarkTowerPalaver. Get yourself the official hashtag Tad is terrible sticker, t-shirt, pillow, backpack,
Lies,
basketball shorts,
deception,
phone case,
lies, and
notebook.
deception.
I think they even have a notebook, if I remember right.
I couldn't remember if we had that, but we do actually.
Lies!
Yeah.
Deception!
Deception.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Saw Guerrero.
It's entirely true. I hate to break it to you.
Nah, I'm a lovable character.
They have socks.
Sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the intro stuff. So let's go ahead and dive on in then. So where we left off, our wary travelers came across the illustrious, the glorious, the lovable Randall Flagg in the Emerald Palace. Roland, of course, being the evil person he is, tries to assassinate our beloved Randall Flagg. So but Randy got away. That can give us all comfort in what we're on here. So, but one of the things that happened though is Flagg dropped the wizard's glass, the grapefruit. So we have that now in the present day, which is something that we've been dealing with throughout this entire book here. And here we are now with it face to face to us in our current ka-tet. And yeah, it seems that there's one last part of the story that needs to be told. So, beyond the normal discussion about the the fact that we're basically losing an episode because this will wrap us up for the whole book. The other thing though is this is kind of an interesting breakdown the way this all works. So all of chapter 4, which is where we're picking up here. So we are currently in part 4. Which what is part 4 called again? All God's children got shoes.
Yeah.
And then chapter 4 is titled The Glass, and that's what we're covering here. And there is no subchapters for this, so I'm just going to cover all of subchapter 4.
Yeah.
And then we'll go through all of subchapter 5, which is the end of the book. We will talk about the afterword and stuff as well. But yeah, so a little bit of a long one here. I'll get chapter 4, and then Peter will cover a number of subchapters to start off chapter 5. So let's go ahead and dive on into chapter 4, which is titled The Glass. So we have the New York gunslingers finding themselves standing in a corridor of the Great Hall of Gilead. The Deans locking hands, and Susanna has her legs and her cappies have been replaced by ruby slippers, exactly like Dorothy, because now, in this imagined land, she's got her full legs. So, which I have to pause it and put a note on this, but I did find that funny because I remember thinking, Wizard and Glass, we'll run into a wizard, maybe he could restore her legs, and we won't have to worry about being in a wilderness embraced land with no legs. Because that seemed like that. I feel like a wheelchair. I mean, it was tough enough in book 2 when you're just on a beach. I'm like, but beaches are like relatively stable, like, whatever. Like when you start getting into like woods and God knows what else is coming for us. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know if that's gonna be a thing. Like her not having legs.
Yeah, the sand doesn't cut you, but if you get down there with like pine needles, you imagine like trying to walk on your hands and knees with pine needles and rocks and
that's what I was like thinking.
Yeah.
I'm like the wheelchair is gonna have to get dumped because like there's just no way that you're gonna necessarily be able to take a wheelchair through the wilderness or whatever. So we're getting at least a taste of that here. So Jake thought she had her legs because this was a dream, but he knows this is no dream. He looked down at Oi, who was looking back up at him nervously. He was still wearing his red booties. He also realized that Roland was not there with them. He also noticed the faint pinkness in the air. And that always reminds me of the Matrix. The subtle
green tint.
Subtle green tint whenever you're in the Matrix. That's what I always envision when we talk about like these
Do you picture it a little bit different than the Matrix, because Jake says the faint pinkness to the air? So it's almost like the space between us would be slightly pink, almost kind of like whenever someone does a Mexico movie, it's always that what is it, like
sepia.
The sepia, that orangish kind of tint.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but also more like just the space in between things. Not because like in the Matrix, it's like the walls are green.
Yeah.
Your shirts has a green tint kind of thing.
But that's like the air, right? Like it's almost the whole world is hued green.
I guess, yeah.
And it's like, the whole world here is just hued pink. So he knew something was going to happen. It was a story and one he knew, one he had been told before. They hear footfalls approaching. It is Roland, and Jake knows it. Knows this is when Martin stops him and brings him in to see his mother in Martin's bed. Jake thinks he's too young to see this, but he isn't. But he isn't really. Roland is only 3 years older when he met Susan, but he doesn't care. He doesn't want to see this. But as Roland finally draws near, he realizes this is not that story. This is not early August, but late fall or early winter. He knows by the serape that Roland is wearing and the fact that he could see Roland's breath because it has turned cold. He also noticed Roland is wearing his guns. No prentice ones, but the big ones with the sandalwood grips. His father had given them to him at the banquet, Jake thinks. And he also notices that Roland's boots are red, and he does not notice because that's not real. He realizes it is not real, but somehow it is. They're in the pink storm of the grapefruit, and the storm reminds Jake of the fall of the hounds. So, for one thing, we're in Jake's point of view throughout this chapter. I don't think I have a note on that. But yeah, I find that kind of interesting to take it from his point of view because, King's always jumping around points of view.
You would expect if someone told you at the beginning of the book, hey, we're going to see a flashback to Roland and Gilead. Whose point of view are we going to see? I mean, you're going to be like, okay, it's either Roland or someone in Gilead, right?
Yeah.
No, we're taking this from Jake's point of view.
Yeah, which it is very weird.
Left turn.
Yeah.
Not even Eddie. Like, I would expect almost maybe Eddie would be the one if you're going to pick someone from the ka-tet, but no, it's Jake.
Yeah. Very jarring to see our New York gunslingers in Gilead, and I can't help but think that come the Flanagan series, like this would be like very strange alchemy when you're finally seeing these New York people in Gilead. Like that's just. I
also picture Gilead to be like everyone looks good. Like they're going to be dressed well, especially like in the castle and like
because this is Excalibur level.
Camelot.
This is Camelot. This isn't the fringes of Mejis. This is the highfalutin.
This is not some village on the outskirts of the outer baronies and stuff like that. This is London. This is Paris. This is Berlin. This is the head of an empire.
Yeah,
basically like
Rome
is a great exactly. You're going to see top class citizens. These are the gunslingers. You're going to see everyone well fed. Everyone looks good and everything like that. And then you're going to see people in deerskins. with the sneakers on maybe, or maybe they're in like moccasins. And then there's going to be a Billy Bumbler.
Yeah, and I think like for me, it's just the strangeness, not even what they're wearing, but more of just the fact that like we know these are New York people, and like we know the timeline is so divergent here that this is just like no, this shouldn't be. Right, like it's like Marty in the 50s. Like it just doesn't. It's not logical.
He doesn't belong here.
Yeah,
we know he doesn't belong here. He can dress like them, but we know that he still doesn't belong here.
Yeah, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting reading this, and I'm sure the movie will do a good job of that. I can only imagine too if there's like people like if this show gets big and stuff, and there's like people that are into it but have never read the books and stuff, and like set photos leak of like the Eddie and Susanna and Jake character actors on a Gilead set. Like that, because
they're gonna be like, "What the hell is this show?"
Yeah, what is going on here? So they going my next note here. They all still have their slippers, have on their ruby slippers or shoes. Even Roland, and that's very surreal to picture. Just kind of very anachronistic here because like that, and it's like he can't tell that he's wearing them, right? But it's their view of it. It's almost like Roland is like they're all pulled into the grapefruit ultimately. That's what it comes down to, and they're all still wearing that. So it's almost like it's a glamour, right? And like but Roland is being seen as though he was then. So it's like because Jake mentions him looking kind of young, him looking younger and stuff, and he kind of tells from his age. Because there's almost part of me that wonders, like, I think I've even thought this before when I visualize this in my head, is that like it's like they're seeing Roland's story, but it's the Roland they know, which isn't what it is. It's not what it is in the book, but it's like you'd almost see that, right? And like I think the slippers are kind of or the ruby boots are kind of
the cowboy boots,
they're kind of a tie to that, where it's like this is still like it's their connection ultimately. But it's
I think it's interesting because if you take it the other way and you do the younger Roland, like you only see a younger Roland. You don't see like him walk past like a reflection. You see older Roland, how they do that sometimes to like kind of like show like possession almost.
Yeah.
I think that if you just show younger Roland, but then he has the red cowboy boots on, it implies that no, that's their Roland. It's just he looks like that, and it's this time it's a go, kind of thing.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah,
and then I love that Susanna has her legs and has the proper ruby slippers because she is the only female. So Wizard of Oz, we haven't had that, but now we do.
Yeah,
just kind of like neat bow on that.
Yeah, which ones were closest to Dorothy's last episode? Was it Oi's? They said it was close, or no, these are like just booties because he had the Eddie had the Cubanos, she just had the slips. Roland's are cowboy boots, Jake's were Oxfords. It had to have been Oi's, but that doesn't.
It was Oi's, yeah.
That's weird
because they're like little that's basically what Dorothy wears. Is basically just kind of like slip-on flats. They're not like high heels and everything like that.
When I picture booties, especially like an animal, like I almost picture like a drawstring bag. That's just tiny that kind of goes over the dog's paw and then it cinches so it would like stay. Because you've seen like dogs that wear those kind of like booties, and they're literally just like they're almost just like a little sack that has like
some of them are like that. Others are more designed to like children's shoes, which is I think what the word booty is more what King is going for, because I'm picturing him with his kids. Is think of like a doll or a little kid's shoe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picturing Oi has on, which has like the one strap. You're not going to have a tie or anything like that because they can't tie. So you're going to have just like a Velcro strap. That's what I'm picturing. It's just like a little kid's shoe.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just, so ultimately now we're would actually see pretty much like Dorothy's slippers.
The actual like ruby slippers.
Yeah. I love Jake feeling like he's too young to see the Martin exchange. It's really not that often that we've seen Jake feel too young to himself. Like I feel like I don't feel like he's like ever has like bravado about like I'm good enough for this. But it's like I do think that there's an unnatural maturity to him just because of the life that he's lived and the death that he's experienced. But like I don't know. Like there's just something about him just being like, no, I'm too young to see this. It's just I don't know. There's something almost adorable about that, and like there's an innocence there that I don't know, because he's been too young and he's been overwhelmed and abused a lot. But this almost feels like I shouldn't watch an R-rated movie, which is just like I said, it's just kind of adorable. I don't know, and do you think it's like I don't know? Is it like a proper thing where it's like I don't want to see Roland's mom?
I think it's the secondhand embarrassment thing that I suffer from really bad. Is that dude? I don't want to see. You remember this when you were a kid? You ever have a friend get yelled at by his parents?
Oh yeah.
You don't want to be there.
Oh, I just got the popcorn.
Oh, because you're evil and twisted. But I don't want to be there when that happens. That kind of shit. So
yeah,
I'm like, okay, buddy, I'm gonna go.
And he's just using his youth as the excuse. It's just like, I'm too young for this.
It's kind of like a I don't know. I want to say coping mechanism, but it is like that's why he feels that way. I don't think it's like an excuse. I think it's actually like. I'm embarrassed for this because I don't want to see this because I'm 12.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be a part to seeing Roland's mother with the guy that she's having an affair with in front of him where he discovers that his mom is having an affair on his dad. I don't think I should be. I think Jake's that smart that he's just like, I shouldn't be seeing this.
Yeah. That's the one thing though is so he's 11, I guess.
Yeah.
I always thought he was 12 too, and you mentioned 12.
I did.
But here it said he was 3 years younger than when he met Susan. Roland was 14. So
Jake is 11.
Yeah, interesting. And hi, Baraki.
Welcome, Baraki.
Welcome. Yeah. So seeing their breath. I mean, I know castles had no heating, but damn, that's wild for us to consider seeing your breath inside of a because I mean, I've been in like more rustic environments when it's not necessarily great weather, but like I don't know, usually there's some heat, right? Like you get a good enough cabin and you get like a fire or something, like you're gonna be fine. You know, you're not gonna be seeing your breath indoors type thing. So that's kind of interesting to me.
It is something that I have experienced only once in my life.
Agamorphy, Heil Podslingers, a day we thought would never come.
I know, right? Just wait till we get to book 7.
Yeah, no kidding. No, but 40 is now the number to beat.
40 is the number to beat. We'll see. I don't think book 5 is going to beat it.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
We'll see.
We'll
see.
I have been in that situation one time where I could see my breath inside. It was actually, I think I knew you when this happened. There was a power outage when I lived with my parents in high school. It happened in January here in Utah, and sometimes it gets very cold here in January and February in Utah. And the way that my parents' neighborhood is, they're on the inside. It's like a big circle. They're on the inside, and that inside for some reason couldn't get the power back on for 3 days. And so the temperature just slowly over the 3 days just started to drop. Because I think I remember coming over to your house to take a shower. Because I didn't have power, so our water heater was electric, so we didn't have hot water. I think I came over to your house to shower that time. There was one time where I woke up because my bedroom was in the basement, and it was not finished, so it wasn't insulated or anything like that. I woke up, I had like my mummy bag. I don't know if you've ever heard of mummy bags, where you could sleep in those in like negative 40-degree weather.
Yeah.
And it like cinches up over your head and everything
Yeah.
like that. I was in that, and when I came out, I could full on see my breath. So I've always heard that it was 40 degrees, but I Googled it just to be sure. It's 45 degrees for those of you who don't use the correct degrees in Fahrenheit. That's 7.2 in Celsius to see your breath. But humidity does play a part. That is pretty damn cold inside. And I guess they don't want to waste the resources to heat the hallways because Roland is walking in between rooms.
And also you got like I imagine like a stone castle type thing too. So it's like you're also not necessarily the most I don't know,
insulated.
Yeah, well, stone is cold inherently.
Exactly.
Also, I went and found my little thing for word count. You might be right. So there's 787 pages for Wizard and Glass. There's only 714 in Wolves of the Kala, and the word count, which is way more important because pages are very, very variable depending on text size, font size, all that kind of stuff. But word count, Wizard and Glass is 254,691. Wolves of the Kala is 242,000. So about 10,000 less words. So although 272,000 for the 7th book. So and 845 pages. So this might be our record holder until we finish finish the 7th book, because we are going to save Went Through the Keyhole until after.
And that's not even that long.
Yeah, no, that one is 336 pages and 91,000.
Yeah.
Although that's longer than the first two book, or I'm sorry, first book.
Yeah.
Little Sister of Illyria, we also have at 23,000 words. So
we do have to do that at some point.
Yeah, indeed. So, that's just interesting for sure. Also, Roland's been given his birthright guns. We are getting a lot of story elements filled in just a few paragraphs here. Like, because
I would have never expected Roland to get those.
I would have thought it wouldn't have been until his dad either died or like whatever. Like, I wouldn't think that because what is his dad using now? This still baffles me, but it certainly baffles me the first time.
There is a passage earlier where it talks about Stephen's guns do become Roland's, right?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
So Roland does get Stephen's guns.
Yeah.
There's not other guns made for Roland. It's passed from father to son kind of thing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So these guns were Stephen's father's and his father and his father and everything like that.
And maybe from my perspective, it wouldn't be necessarily if Stephen died, but maybe when Stephen's stepping aside in some way. And I just don't think that's right now. Like, you're not stepping aside because your 14-year-old is now an official guy. Because it feels to me you're still in your prime. So it's
he's the head gunslinger.
Yeah, exactly.
He's in charge.
This blows my mind a little bit. This is a wild story element.
I mean, maybe there's other guns for him to use, but and not Roland. Roland's birthright and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it is very interesting. And then being in the ball is kind of uneasy considering what it looked like for Roland to be in for a few episodes back from the outside, right?
Yes.
We saw from Cuthbert and Alance perspective what that looked like for Roland. So it's now to think that our entire ka-tet is in that. Because, I don't know, it feels like this is almost... I mean, I'm not going to say they took it lightly, but there's part of me as a reader that was like, wait, what are you guys doing? No, don't do that. Like,
we also saw what it did to Rhea, the entire story in this book.
yeah,
It just completely wasted her away. So, like,
yeah.
I know they're not going to be in here as long and use it as much as her, but still, it's like,
But
if you see someone die from radiation poisoning and over there is radiation, I don't want to go there. That's,
Yeah.
kind of the thought process I would have.
And I think the thing that I'm locking on to more than anything, though, is like the Roland thing is like he didn't really have control there.
No.
He was taken in and he was like pretty much held captive, and it wasn't until he was punched that it
The
really
lad knocked him out.
And that was like not by the will of the body. I don't think that. I'm not sure if it lets him go at all. So
No,
there's
it
just
may
part of
not.
me that's like, is this safe? For our whole ka-tet to kind of get thrown into this, like it just seems.
Yeah, they don't even
dangerous
have
to me.
anyone like watching their back. Their bodies are just there like that. Like you're in the Matrix kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, unless Roland is not in.
No, he is. They talked about it. That's Roland.
No,
Roland's
but they're
there.
they're seeing the old story though.
Yeah.
And so maybe like but I don't know. I guess I wonder from the outside
Oh, God.
perspective,
Is Roland in his old body just watching it happen?
watching them watch it happen type
Yeah.
thing. Like, is he?
He has to see the looks on their face and
Which-
hear what they say and everything.
that-
That's torture if that's true, right?
Yeah, because he already knows what that is. I'm sure
I
that's
never
pretty.
thought about it from that perspective before.
Yeah, so maybe he's the Cuthbert and land in this part now, where they're all in
He's out.
and he's out, and like
so he doesn't
whatever.
have to watch it.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to see it again. Yeah, so very uneasy. And then Baraki says, "Are we on? Unless you mean on to book 5? Yes, book 5 is next. After this episode, it'll be next month. So,
Yeah.
which means that we won't necessarily launch our book 1 or book 5 with two-parter. Now we'll have one episode next month and then 2 episodes in August. So, because remember, we were originally going to launch this book in August. And we have 2 episodes in August, or 3 episodes in August.
Oh, it's August that has the 3 episodes. That's
Yeah.
right.
So originally that was we thought there would still be this episode and July's episode for this book, but not anymore. So now, yeah, July we're starting Wolves of the Kala. So. All right, so moving on here. As Roland approaches the door, Eddie calls out for him not to do it, and Oi echoes the sentiment, but he can't hear them, and he knocks, which I don't think. I don't know why they think that he's going to be able to like hear them. I guess like, is it because they feel like they're in it? They're just like, oh, we're part of the story. It's like, no, dude, you're watching you all dealt with TVs. You're basically watching a 3D TV thing right now, where you're inside
Right.
the picture. Like
I
you're not
think it's-
changing the story.
I think it's more so that Jake has realized that. I don't think Eddie and Oi have. I think they're a little slower than Jake. I think Jake's very sharp for this kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
Eddie's a dullard when it comes to this kind of stuff.
yeah,
He always has seemed to be that way. And then Oi's just echoing because Eddie calls out.
yeah.
Eddie yells, Oi barks,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah. Let's see. So they're not really there. Eddie moves to follow, nearly dragging Susanna. He calls for Jake to follow. Jake says he doesn't want to, and Eddie tells him it's not about what he wants. They're supposed to see it and to come on. Jake doesn't like it, but he does follow. The guns look massive on Roland's slim hips, and he looks and the look on his face makes Jake want to cry. Roland knocks on the door again. Susanna says no one's there, or is there and not answering. Either way, he needs to leave it alone. She is his mother, but that doesn't mean she's worth it, and tells him to go away. But he doesn't hear her and doesn't go away. He tries the door and it opens, revealing a shadowy room decorated with silk hangings and a rug that Jake thinks is like his mother's Persian rug. But he knows this one comes from the province of Kashiman. On the far side of the room, which I will say, to your point when you said Jake's a little bit smarter, the one thing I want to point out is Jake does have the touch.
He does.
And I think that's an echo of it there,
Yeah.
right? For him to know what province that rug came from, like that has to be from the touch. So,
Absolutely.
on the far side of the room is a low back chair, and Jake knows it's the one that Roland's mother was sitting on the day of Roland's manhood test. It is empty now, and Roland stepped into the room. Jake sees a pair of black shoes beneath the drapes flanking the window. Jake pointlessly called out to Roland to watch out. Someone is behind the drapes. Roland calls out to his mother. Jake recognizes the voice, even though it's so much younger. Roland calls again, saying he wants to talk to her. Still no answer. Roland walks down the hall toward the bedroom. Jake wants to stay in the parlor and wants to pull the curtain back, but he knows that he'd have no more ability to do that than a ghost would. So at least Jake's now locking onto the fact that you're watching a TV here, like
Yeah.
you can't interact. Now, yeah, he did say like, "Hey, Roland, there's someone behind the curtain," but I don't know. There's a lot of people that talk to TVs.
I think it's just that he can't control it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what's about to happen, and they're trying to stop it, but you know that you can't. Like if someone strapped you to a chair and made you watch as someone slowly walked in front of a train, you would want to yell out and stuff like that, even if you knew they couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
Like, you would want to stop it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that do that with horror movies.
Don't go in there.
Yeah, don't go in there.
What are you, stupid?
Yeah. So Eddie says to stay with him. They follow him into a cluster that would have otherwise been comic, but not to them, as they were all desperate for the comfort of friends.
Some Scooby-Doo shit right there.
I'm thinking like Three Stooges, where they all try to go through the door at the same time and it just like
just
jams
like
them
banging into each other.
Yeah.
I think like Scooby-Doo, where they're all like huddled together and the ghost is sneaking up behind them.
Yeah.
Sorry. The real estate agent dressed as a ghost is sneaking up behind them.
Yeah, indeed. So this is going to be eerie to watch with this ghostly aspect of the Tet in this scene. Also, it gives a huge filmmaking advantage because you can use their reactions to sell the emotion of the scene even more so than if it were just Roland.
Yeah.
Because they kind of know, they have so much more context there. I don't know.
Absolutely. And I just further along that, if played right by the actors are the ones who will set the tone for the scene, there's still some other factors, but how the three of them right here play it is going to build the tension a lot. Because if they're just coming in and they're just like, hey, what's this? I'm just curious, like, what's going on? It's not going to be. But if they're acting like Suzanne is acting, where she says, no one's there, she's not there, it's not worth it, get the fuck out, like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Her fear, her worry, Eddie crying out, Jake saying, there's someone hiding over there. Them being on edge is going to put us on edge.
Yeah.
And if they do it right, it's going to be amazing. And that's where I trust Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, Hill House and all that other stuff.
Oh God,
as
he's so good at that. We're having the actors be the ones who set the tone for us.
Yeah,
we're walking down the hall in Haunting of Hill House, and the way that the actors acting, you can't see what they're seeing because you're focused on their face. There's no music, and you're just like, I'm fucking terrified right now because of the way she's acting.
Yeah. Do you want them to would you want Flanagan to put like the Tet a little bit like almost translucent a little bit to where like it's clear that they're not really there?
I think the pink in the air is going to play a bigger factor on them than it would. I would have like the slight pink, like the Matrix, like we talked about everywhere else, but them just a little bit. Just if everywhere else is 10%, I want them at 25.
Yeah.
Just show me the little bit of difference.
Baraki has a good point. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, Wizard of Oz.
Yep. Absolutely.
So good call there. Also, the tension being built with all of them being so scared and apprehensive while Roland is just doing his thing. It's an interesting juxtaposition.
Yeah.
Because like he just doesn't have, and the thing is like they know there's another part of the story to tell, but they don't know what it is.
And they know and they also know that it's the worst part of the story. Like Roland feels bad about Susan, and Eddie and Susanna had that conversation after they went to go take a leak. I thought he killed her. No, so what's his problem? What is it? What's that thing where's that weight coming from?
Yeah.
And this has to be it.
Yeah, no, 100%. So that's going to be interesting to watch, like him just being all, because I think that Roland's just very like kind of passive. Like I don't think he's like on edge, or I don't think he's like on guard. Like I think he's literally just like a kid going to see his mom. Like I don't think that he's like, you know what I mean? Like, whereas like they're all like on edge and like whatever. Like, I don't think Roland's even like close to like like he's in his home.
He
castle,
doesn't have his hands on the butt of his guns and stuff like that. I think there is some tension because he is about to have a very serious conversation with his mother, but I don't think that it's like on edge, like you're exactly like you're saying.
Yeah, like
I think he's feeling some emotions.
Yes,
and he wants to go resolve the conflict, but he's not thinking that.
It's not danger.
It's not danger.
Like,
I'm not going to be attacked. She's not going to be hurt.
Like he's not.
It's not hostile or anything.
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
not a gunslinger on the trail where there's danger behind every fucking corner, and you never know what's like. Like the on guard Roland we've always seen that like within a split second, he's able to like come out of sleep because of data type thing. Like this isn't that level of like readiness. Like no, this is just literally a kid going to see it. Now, yes, there's going to be some tension from like what's coming, but not
and what has happened as well.
Like there's emotional stuff going on here, but it's not tension like our gunslingers are seeing where they're just like, no, God, don't.
If we're counting it on a scale of 1 to 10, Roland's at a 2. they're at a 9. Like
Yeah.
they're about to blow their tops kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah. And then my last note before we move on here, feet behind the drapes, that is ominous, but it's also but also how the hell does Roland miss that? He is young, but he is a gunslinger, and missing something like that can't be allowed for a gunslinger, even in a familiar place. Like everything we've seen, Roland doesn't miss anything, right? And like you're so much closer to like I know he doesn't have like the road, like he's still young. He doesn't have all the experience of older Roland, but it's like he is a lot closer to the teaching where he would have been, hit in the head by his teachers because like
court would have made him go without dinner and breakfast and lunch for missing this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So maybe,
and also maybe give him a couple stitches upside the back of the head. You know?
Yeah. And then it hits Cuthbert just for the hell of it.
And then Cuthbert gives him side eye. What? Maggot? Bam!
He just gives one to Cuthbert for good measure. He's
Yeah.
like,
Roland fucks up and he's like, don't you ever forget that. Smack. Cuthbert's, what the hell did I do? Bam. Back talk.
But that goes to my point, though, is that I don't even think Roland's at a 1. Like, I think he's at 0 when it comes to like readiness.
Yeah.
Like, again, I know there's emotion there, but I think emotion versus readiness, vastly different things. And his readiness is at absolute 0 here. He's not even. It's literally the comfort you would have in your own home, where it's just like
it's going to be a verbal thing. It's going to be him and his mom talking about the awkwardness and the badness that she was up to and stuff like that. It's not anything where he has to have his hands on his guns and be ready to defend himself.
Like, honestly, he probably shouldn't have his guns on him. If he hadn't got him so soon, I don't think he would be wearing them. Right?
I wonder if that's kind of a thing for gunslingers. Is like you always have to wear your guns, kind of thing. You know, like I'm just saying in my head canon, like if you're a gunslinger, you go strapped up with iron because if you get caught without your iron, that's like embarrassing as hell, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because you're in Gilead type stuff, and I just kind of wonder if it's one of those things where it's like when the kid gets his driver's license.
Yeah.
Like he will drive to any fucking errand you want to send him on.
Yeah,
because
I need you to go to the store to get a gallon of milk. I'll drive.
Yeah, like it's just it's
that.
I
I remember being that kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think of it more like here's where my frame of mind is thinking. You got a samurai, right? He's got that sword with him everywhere he goes. Now, he may get home and he may put it like right there on the mantle while he's eating dinner, but as soon as he gets up to go outside and do chores, that sword's going with him because at any moment he may be called on to defend the village, kind of thing. So
yeah, maybe.
I think of like that, like they're always on duty, right? Kind of thing. And also, I think you're 100% right. Young kid got a shiny new toy. He's going to wear it.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to wear it.
How much time do you think he spent polishing the damn things?
Even though there was no
nothing
he's
wrong
like
with
he's
them.
like Harry Potter with the Nimbus 2000. There's nothing to do, so they just sits there and the Firebolt. I mean, not the Nimbus 2000.
Yeah. It's just that. Yeah, it's like they're in immaculate condition, but he's still like polishing them. So,
Brocky says he's with me on this one. Although the ideas do overlap. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so moving on here, Roland enters the bedroom and stands looking at the bed as if hypnotized, maybe imagining Martin in the bed with his mother, or maybe remembering Susan, who he never laid in a proper bed with, which that's wild.
Crazy.
I've never thought about that. Yeah, I've never considered that, but that's true. Let alone one that's luxurious. Roland shakes himself from whatever thoughts he was wrestling with. To the New Yorkers, the ruby boots in this dark room look like the boots of a man walking through a creek of blood. That's a visual. That's comforting. Roland calls out for his mother again. Roland bends as if to look under the bed, and Jake thinks she's not hiding there. She's behind the drapes, or the shoes behind the drapes are women's shoes, and the shape in the corridor is the shape of a woman in a dress Jake can see. So now there's a shape in the corridor coming.
Yeah.
Very Hill House-ish, right?
Uh-huh.
And I hope Flanagan shoots it that way. I hope this is legitimately like
you put them up frame by frame, side by side in there, and it's almost eerily similar.
Yeah. Jake understands the relationship with Roland and his parents more than Eddie or Susanna ever could, because it is so much like his own relationship with his parents. His father was a gunslinger of the network, and his mother had a long history of sleeping with sick friends. That's an interesting wrinkle to Jake's backstory. I don't think we've really got that. We know his mom was like using a lot of drug, like prescription type stuff, but we haven't got the sense
I think
that
there was a hint at it earlier that she has some men on the side.
I don't remember that being a thing we've been told before. I think this is a new revelation here, because we remember she was hopped up all the time on shit, because like when the whole blow up happened and stuff. But it's like beyond that, I always just kind of up until now I've always just seen her as just this like like I don't know if you've never seen the show Mad Men, but it's like in Mad Men, there's just these wives. It's like their whole fucking reality is just like being self-absorbed and hopped up on whatever. And it's like whatever. But yeah, Jake had never been told this, but he knew. He knows somehow. He shared Kef with them, and he knows.
Touch.
So yeah, touch. Indeed. He also knows that it goes back to like Danny, right?
Yeah.
Now,
He just knows.
Yeah, Danny just knew certain things. He also knows that Roland saw Gabrielle. He also knows that Roland saw Gabrielle return from Debaria while he was in the Wizard's Glass, coming back to Gilead and begging forgiveness to be let back into Stephen's bed. And when Stephen slept after the lovemaking, she would bury a knife in his heart or just scratch his arm without waking him. Roland had to put a stop to it before it happened to save his father's life. Eddie and Susanna might think, but Jake had the unhappy wisdom of an unhappy child, and he knew that it was to save the life of not only Stephen, but also Gabrielle, to give her one last chance to recover her sanity and to stand by her husband and be true. One last chance to repent of Martin Broadcloak. Jake thought surely she must. Roland saw how unhappy she was that day. Surely she could not choose the magician. So yeah, there's a whole load of things to digest there. So interesting to make Roland's face this bad. So much of the trip to Mejis for him was running from this truth, and here he is on the other side of this hellish trip to face it after all, right? Because like that was largely like his whole thing was escapism. I mean, I know Stephen was trying to like get him out of the way and protect him a little bit, but for Roland, he needed to escape, and he was really trying to avoid really coming to terms with this entire Martin ordeal.
Yeah.
So now to be standing in this room at the end of this whole story, that's a brutal. Coming to terms.
Yeah, it is definitely. And I wonder if the part with Roland's look where he can't look away, it's just like a train wreck. You aren't supposed to stare, but it's hard when it's right there. But I also think that I think it's 50-50. I think it's 50% that's where my mother had Martin. That's where she committed her adultery, in his eye and stuff like that. But also, I really wonder if there's a part of him going, I wonder what it would have been like to spend a night with Susan. He never even got to spend a night with her. Like, think about that. Like, she always has to get back home, otherwise Cordelia would lose her goddamn mind.
Yeah.
So there's never been a wake up, pillow talk, like how'd you sleep kind of thing with him and Susan, the love of his life. And I wonder if there's just a little bit there where it's just like, what could have been.
Yeah. No, I know it's definitely, and like he's still very close to the trauma of Susan too, right? Like that's
we're less than a month removed from it, right?
Yeah, like
the trip back, that's about it.
Yeah, and I don't think he was necessarily conscious for most of that trip back. So it's like for him, we're probably talking about less than a week of conscious, like, so that's still a very close trauma. And then but now also on top of that trauma, to get the original trauma that you were trying to avoid through most of the story is now you're facing it type thing. So, and then my next note, the figure is approaching. Flanagan is going to do this plenty creepy, I think. Bent neck lady, the tall, lanky fella in Hill House, and under the bed. That always reminds me of that too. With when old Luke, right, is hiding under the bed.
Yeah.
Head comes down. So good, dude. Roland saw in the glasses the murder of his father by his mother. But that was was that real, or the glass being the glass? I'm not sure it can lie, but it can be selective about what it shows. But is it just showing him one possible future, or does it know that this is going to happen?
There's some questions there that we have to answer at the end of this when we get to our spoiler section about.
Because
is there truth? Is there lies? Didn't we get
the sense that the ball really can't lie, but it can be very selective about what it shows you?
Because the ball doesn't show Roland Susan. Because if it had, he would have known, and he would run, and he would instantly have gone because he thought.
I want to say Rhea told us that, where Rhea knew that it can't lie to you.
Or is that just her way of thinking? Did the ball lie to her?
Yeah.
It's the two guards on the door. One can only tell the truth, and one can only lie.
Yeah.
If it can tell lies, and it tells you that it can't tell lies, well, then it can lie.
Yeah.
But if it can only tell the truth and it says that it can't tell lies,
and this is like classic, not monkey paw, but you have that classic element in magical storytelling, fairy tale type stuff where it's there's something that can't particularly lie, but that doesn't mean it's going to tell you the truth. It
can still omit things.
Yeah.
I'm not lying by not telling you that your mother is hiding in the room.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's, I don't know.
I'm not lying to you you just assume that Susan's safe. I never said that she was safe.
Yeah.
I don't know why you got that impression.
And
you didn't show me that she was going to be burned at the stake. That's not my fault.
I just picture it in an Italian accent. Hey, I didn't say it. You know?
Hey. That's not what I said.
And when I say Italian, I mean like a Simpsons mafia character,
Yes.
not like actual
What's his
Italian.
name? Tony
Tony Tight Lips?
No, Fat Tony?
Or Fat Tony,
Fat
yeah.
Tony.
Yeah. Or Johnny Tight Lips.
Johnny Tight Lips.
Johnny, where you been hit? I ain't saying nothing.
I ain't saying nothing.
So, yeah, that's just a fascinating thing. We have heard previous, I don't think it was that many chapters ago, that we heard the whole idea that she went to Debaria to pray for Roland's safe return. So it's like she's been in Debaria basically focusing on Roland. So I do think that's another thing to bring back up is like largely the entire time he's been gone, she's been focused on him, right? So that's interesting. But then she comes back and it's like, yeah, and again, I love this. I think this part right here is why we're in Jake's point of view.
Yeah.
Because of Jake's past experiences with, like, you know, Eddie didn't necessarily have the best childhood.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a poor childhood like Jake did. Susanna has a good childhood. You know what I mean? Like in the sense of like her parents are loving parents. It's a
and then
kind
Eddie's
and loving home.
Eddie's kind of a 50-50. Like his mom loved him, but also at the same time left him in the care of his older brother
because it's just her, right?
It's just her,
so
right?
It's like
so
she's got to work.
Like, she did what she had to do.
Yeah.
There's no judgment on Henry's mom, but at the same time, you did leave your son in the hands of Henry, who is an absolutely not a good person, kind of thing.
But you don't know if he wasn't a good person early on, though. You know, he may have gone bad with the drugs later on. You know, late teens.
I guess realistically, when you look at it, does Henry become a bad person, or is he a bad person always? Yeah, that's an interesting question to look back.
That's a Jesse Pinkman type question.
Yeah, when can you say that Jesse Pinkman is an evil person,
or maybe it's a Chuck McGill question?
Ooh.
Can anyone ever change? I just had to bring up Chuck just for your benefit.
I hate you. Not as much as I hate him, but
and then my last note is just poor Jake, because like again, just going back to like the childhood he dealt with.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
Baraki throws in the chat, his mother, who is scrawny in a sexy way, often goes to bed with sick friends. The Gunslinger, page 89.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I just
it's very early on.
I think I'm only remembering the stuff in book 3.
Yeah, where he goes truant from Piper. So
yeah,
this is all the way back in Gunslinger. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't even remember really talking about his parents in the first book at all. Really, to be honest, I remember his dad and a little bit of his mom from book 3. So Roland has the unwisdom of the very young. He cannot grasp the unhappiness and shame are often no match for desire. He means to tell her he saved her from herself once before, but cannot do it again. Jake thinks if she plays dumb with him, he will tell her she can either leave Gilead with his help now, that very night, or be put in chains tomorrow and be hung like Hax the cook. Roland calls out for her again, unaware of the shape behind him. The shape moves toward him with the hands raised, and it has something, not a gun, but Jake thinks it has a deadly look to it just the same. It was snake-like. Good old Ermont.
Mm-hmm.
Susanna cried to watch out. At the same time, a glass on the dresser that she had stolen lights up as if in response to her voice, Susan's voice. It throws a pink light, and in the light, Roland finally sees the figure behind him. And then I have a direct quote for a chunk here. Christ, Eddie Dean shrieked it, horrified. Oh, Christ, Roland, that's not your mother. It's not even a woman, not really anymore. It's a kind of living corpse in a road-filthy black dress. There are only a few straggling tufts of hair left on her head, and there's a gaping hole where her nose used to be. That's a fun thought.
That's
there.
Not good. That's leprosy shit.
Yeah. Indeed. But her eyes you know what I will say though, in film there's not enough noses being lost, because that is a grotesque thing.
Mm-hmm.
More movies need to embrace that, because there's even been times that books have had that and then they've removed it from like an adaptation of some kind. But her eyes still blaze, and the snake she holds wriggles between her hands is very lively. Even in his own horror, Jake has time to wonder if she got it from under the same rock where she found the one Roland killed. Hey Jake, you better put some fucking respect on Ermont's name there.
I mean, you still came from under a rock, piece of shit.
It was Rhea who had been waiting for the gunslinger in his mother's apartment. It was the Coos, come not just to retrieve her glam, but to finish with the boy who caused her so much trouble. Now ye trollops get, she cries, shrilly cackling. Now ye'll pay. But Roland has seen her in the glass. Has seen her in the glass. He has seen her. Rhea betrayed by the very ball she came to take back, and now he is whirling, his hands dropping to his new guns, with all their deadly speed. He is 14. His reflexes are sharpest and quickest, the quickest they'll ever be, and he goes off like an exploding gunpowder. No, Roland, don't, Susanna screamed. It's a trick. It's a glam. Jake has just time to see, to look from the mirror to the woman actually standing in the doorway. He has just time to realize he too has been tricked. Perhaps Roland also understood the truth at the last split second, that the woman in the doorway really was his mother after all, and the thing in her hand isn't a snake but a belt, something she had made for him, a peace offering, mayhap. That the glass had lied to him in the only way it could, by reflection. So there we go. There's an answer to our question. The only way it could.
The only way it can.
So like it really can't truthfully lie. It's got to like twist.
Yeah,
like
so
it's
kind of interesting that it says the only way it can, by reflection. So it shows something that's not there, but that in itself is a lie. So,
but if it's just showing like an image of the past, though, it's not really lying.
Mhm.
Again, it's one of those things that I'm going to show you something that you're going to perceive as a reflection, but it's not really a reflection.
It's one of those time travel things. Like it's not the Odyssey, but it's the other one, Oedipus.
Oh yeah, like
where you tell him the fortune, and then because you told him that leads him down the path to committing all those things.
Yeah.
He kills his father, he sleeps with his mother, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So this is one of those times where it's like that.
Yeah. So going on here, in any case, it's too late. The guns are out and thundering, their bright yellow flashes lighting the room. He pulls the trigger of each gun twice before he can stop, and the 4 slugs drive Gabrielle Deschênes back into the corridor with the hopeful "can we make peace" smile still on her face. That's brutal. She dies that way, smiling. So that's the I got some notes here. Oof, Rhea once again, being part of Roland losing both women in his young life. I mean,
yeah,
not
the first love of his life and his mother.
And we can't fully blame Rhea because I don't think she's actually here, right? I think this is the ball manipulating.
Yeah, that's interesting because I'd never have interpreted it that way, but you're 100% right because like even my note here, she didn't just fool Roland, the others were fooled too. Maybe not Susanna because she cries out that it's just a glam, but I take it more that she figured it out faster.
Yeah.
But you're 100% right because it shows that it can't lie, and it's just using the image of Rhea, I think is what it is. I think this is the ball.
Yeah. So the ball now, maybe we're blaming Rhea where the ball deserves the blame of basically being the indirect cause of both of the losses of both of his most important women in his life.
Yeah.
Also, I will say, of course, Susanna catches on fast as she is the triggest of the group.
Which is funny because we were just talking about Jake with the touch and everything like that, and it fooled him completely.
Yeah, but
he's the only other one that does catch on because he looks and sees that he looks away from the ball and sees, oh shit, that's not Rhea.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But again, it's the allure of the ball, the fact the others can't even pull their eyes. They're only looking at that. They easily could just turn their head and look at the real fucking shadow there.
Eddie, and Roland neither do, but Susanna and Jake both do.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. And then the belt, a make peace look on her face is what makes it so much more tragic to me. And I think if you do this right, and this is why I kind of wonder if Flanagan's wife will end up being Gabrielle. It's such a small role to the overall size of the series, but the importance of that role, I just kind of wonder if she's who has to go in this role here.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I just I don't know. It's so hard for me to see it one way or the other.
I do think you could also have her throughout. Because I've said before, maybe you have the actors that play Court and stuff actually show up, and have be disembodied, or disembodied for anyone else, but Roland is actually seeing them there, Court's to his side. You saw more than that, Maggot, and maybe there's just certain times that Roland just literally.
Are we doing only he can see them kind of thing is what you're talking.
Like it's like a living memory of the fact of like, you know, because on film you're not going to be able to be in Roland's head enough to know Court's telling you saw more than that. Look again type thing. So it's like, do you actually get the actor that's playing Court throughout the entire fucking series popping up at times, standing on screen where he's not really there? Eddie and Susanna can't see him, but in Roland's mind he's right there. And so is there times you
you're gonna potentially you could do that. It's just a matter of how you want to film it, especially like using the airplane example, like you said, the you saw more than that maggot.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it comes down to one of two things. Are you going to show just Eddie closing his eyes and you know that it's Roland in there? Or are you going to have Eddie close his eyes and then you're going to see the actor who plays Roland standing there going, what the fuck did I just see?
Yeah.
And then Court walks up and it's just like, Maggot, you saw more than that, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just do the voice of Court.
Yeah. Or I'm just wondering if you make a stylistic choice where it's like while Roland's looking through that door, you literally have Court hunched that down by him, saying like, no, you saw more than that.
Yeah.
Type, you know what I mean? It's just like it's kind of like what the the Duel of the Fates was supposed to be, as Luke would have been there taunting Kylo the whole time as a spirit, or like Joker in the Batman stuff where he's just like haunting him type thing. So I just wonder if you do that because then Flanagan's wife could potentially be throughout it, because anytime there's some sort of tragic thing going on, you could just see her looking at him.
Yeah,
which would be
he's mowing down tall. He finishes and he looks up and there's his mother.
That'd be brutal.
Especially since you don't know you don't know who she is.
You won't. Yeah, you potentially wouldn't know by that point.
Not until we get to later. Especially if you don't reveal it until later.
Yeah,
you get into season 2, 3, or 4, and then all of a sudden it's like mother, and the door opens and it's her. It's like, holy fuck, we've been seeing her this whole time. That's his mom.
If you can do like somehow get around the showdown with Martin and her without seeing her and get because the trial of manhood would probably be in season 1, unless you do all the flashbacks, which they might have to do because the actor thing.
Yep.
So maybe you just do that, but maybe you do see her throughout. Yeah, tall when Jake falls,
when he drops Jake and he looks up and he sees his mother.
Yeah, and sad too.
Or what if he's holding Jake and he lets him go, or he never holds Jake. Jake's just holding on. He can reach down and save him or not. He looks down, he sees Jake, and go, then there are other worlds and the Jake, let's go. And then falling with him is his mother, reaching up for him as well.
Just I think
there's like, good Lord, there's lots of different choices there.
Yeah, indeed. So Roland is frozen in place with smoking guns in his hands, and this is just me recapping again. I do have some more another quote here in a second. One more quote before we're done, but this is just me recapping. Roland is frozen in place with smoking guns in his hands, and a grimace of surprise and horror on his face as the truth of what he has done sets in, and he realizes he must now carry it with him the rest of his life. He used the guns of his father to kill his mother. Now cackling laughter fills the room. Roland looks down at the figure of the woman he came to save but instead killed. She has the hand-woven belt draped across her blood-covered stomach. Jake turns to the glass and sees a very Oz-type green face, which, with the most hideous grinning snarl at Roland, it is the most terrible grin Jake has ever seen. And then here's where my last quote for this chapter. I've burned the stupid girl ye loved, burned her alive I did, and now I made ye matricide. Do you repent of killing my snake yet, gunslinger? My poor sweet Ermot. Do you regret playing your hard games with one more trig than ye'll ever be in your miserable life? So now that's an interesting thing with the ball though, because it's like, is this really Rhea coming through the ball? Like,
I've always interpreted it that way, but I have my doubt now.
I
got a little bit of doubt that it's just the ball fucking with Roland.
It could very well just be the ball, yeah. But
how? That's the question: is how would Rhea be doing this?
I mean, she is a witch.
She is a witch,
and could she daisy chain off the power of the ball to still project herself into something like this?
I wonder if it's also something like while she was using the ball, she set this trap up. That the ball showed her how this would work, and so she left this message, like a recording kind of thing, in the ball, and then the ball did its thing by projecting Rhea behind him with the snake, and so Roland whirled around, bang, 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 and the glam drops. There's his mom, and then Rhea's message plays, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
I don't know.
Interesting mechanics.
I've always thought that it was Rhea.
Really, her. Yeah.
I've always thought that it was Rhea that caused him.
During the course of this book club, though, we found a few different times now, though, where the ball has actually been way more malicious than we've ever given it credit for.
The whole deceiving Roland to thinking that Susan is safe is something that I have largely overlooked. That is something that's very sentient of the ball, and something that shows that it has conscious thought to not show him that if I show him that, he's not going to go do that so I can have Susan killed.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, that makes me wonder, why does the ball want that?
I mean,
that's where you get into the whole, like, why is the ball just up for chaos and stuff like that? Or is the ball actually doing the bidding of its most recent subject?
Is all the malice that Rhea has poured in the ball, is that affected? But I will say that we've largely been told, though, what little we've been told is the balls are not good. They are, yeah. But I think that's all throughout literature, even in, like, you know, Lord of the Rings and stuff. Like, yeah, these type things are never good. I think I even challenged that to you earlier. I'm like, has there ever been a time that, like, Plantiers or Seeing Stones are actually not, they don't have some, like, malice to them? I feel like they always have some element of, like, not being good. I don't feel like I've ever seen one where it's just a good thing, where it's just like, you know, even back to, like, fucking, like, old stuff, like mirror on the wall, like, there's a malice to that too. I think whenever you're dealing with magical stuff like that, probably coming from the old puritanical days of, if it's magic, it's going to be evil.
Yeah.
And so that's just so ingrained in, like, culture and storytelling that you just don't get good little balls that'll just show you what you need to see, and, like, here, King Arthur, let me help you see the upcoming battle so you can win it decisively. No, it's not going to do that. They just don't.
Yeah,
seemingly so.
Baraki and Agamorphy agree. I don't think Rhea has power over the ball to use this as such a tool. The ball used Rhea as it used everyone and everything else. That was Baraki, and then Agamorphy says, I think I agree. It's a projection of the ball, not Rhea construction trick. Yeah, I believe it's not controlled.
So here's my question.
It's just interesting to think, because then that was my whole argument about us revisiting the Rhea versus Cordelia debate, is that this was the thing with Rhea that I was holding on to, is that she made it so that Roland killed his mother.
Yeah.
But Roland said that. Roland said that she's responsible for it later. Earlier he said that she's responsible for much pain in my life and stuff like that. And then said that he wouldn't talk about it yet.
Yeah.
So he blames Rhea.
So you just said something that I want to lock in on for a second, though. You just said that, like, did it just use Rhea type thing, right?
Yeah.
And as it uses everyone. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Is it using Farson? How much of Farson's thing is the ball? We know he uses it, but he keeps it far enough away to not be, like, controlled by it.
Yeah.
But is it moving battles and stuff to literally fucking bring the fall of Gilead?
Yeah.
Like, is Farson another toy in the ball's toy box? Like, it just used,
because look at the world that comes out of the fall of Gilead. Look at Tull. Look at the slow mutants under the mountains. Look at the Lud and River Cross. That's the world that's left.
Yeah,
that's what we have in Midworld because of Gilead falling, which is what the ball, evil, chaos, absolute shit everywhere. That's what the ball desires. The fall of Gilead is exactly that, which is why it's using Farson, it's using Rhea to bring that about.
So is the whole story we just read of it using Rhea, could we project that even larger on the sense of, like, it's basically been using Farson to bring down society?
100% you could make that argument. If it's able to use Rhea, a witch, way more powerful than Farson is. Farson's just a man.
Yeah, a leader, but a man. Yeah,
but he's just not a man. He's not a sorcerer. He's not a wizard. Flagg, I would be like, that's a debate. Could the ball influence Flagg? Could Flagg resist the ball? That's a whole debate.
I mean, that's how we got it. He had it. So I have a feeling he might be a little bit above it.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, he had it
here. It wouldn't surprise me if he was. I mean, it's Flagg, for God's sake.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And he had it since Roland is 14 now, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because it's like, yeah, we saw they brought it back to Gilead. Now it looks like not Cordelia, God damn it. Gabrielle stole it. We'll get to that in just a second here, but
Rocky says Roland would say that because it is more shameful to him to admit that the glam controlled him. Brocky, I get what you're trying to say. I don't know if the glam controlled Roland. I really think that it deceived him because he did stop pulling the trigger. He didn't put 12 bullets in her. Because I can guarantee you, if Rhea's standing in front of Roland with a snake, he's putting 12 bullets.
Yeah.
In between the two of them.
I do think that they need to shoot this properly because Roland knows he's pulled the trigger, but it hasn't hit her yet when it dawns on him.
Yeah.
You need to shoot this in a way to where he knows before
He's like pulling his guns up or something.
like he's already pulled the trigger the first time maybe, and is when he realizes, because I feel like you've got to get the sense of it's too late, and you almost, or maybe you're not fast enough to stop your fast fingers, but like he knows. It's so tragic. And King, this is why books are so great, because you almost can't capture this on film in a great way. But yeah.
Baraki goes on, it's interesting to me how many times Roland is manipulated into using his weapons to kill. The man in black taunted him into trying. The ball manipulates him into matricide. By controlling, he means manipulating, which is good. Thank you. That's what that's what I was thinking. You were, yeah.
Which, that I could see where there might be shame in that. So let me go ahead. Those are just some interesting thoughts, though. But let me finish up my notes here for this whole chapter. He gives no sign he heard her, only stares at his mother. Soon he will go to her, kneel by her, but not yet. The face in the ball now turns to the New Yorkers and becomes the old bald face of Rhea, the face Roland saw in the mirror. Roland could not see them, but she could, and could very well. She tells them to cry off and renounce the tower. Eddie tells her never and calls her a bitch. She tells them that they now see what he is, a monster, and this is only the beginning. She then tells them to ask him what happened to Cuthbert and Alan or Jamie DeCurry, and that he never had a friend he didn't kill, and never a lover that was not now dust in the wind. Susanna told her to go her own way, and they will go theirs. Rhea snarled and told Susanna that he killed his own mother. What do you think he will do to you? Jake responds by saying he did not kill her. She did, and tells her to go. Jake takes a step forward, meaning to smash the ball, and realizes he actually can, because the ball is real. It's the only thing in this vision that is. Before he can, though, there's an explosion of pink light. He throws up his hands to shield his face, and then is falling through the pink storm out of Oz and back to Kansas. Out of Oz and back to, and that's kind of the ... as we end the chapter here.
Yeah.
So as creepy as it is to have our New Yorkers there but not really there, to suddenly have Rhea turn and recognize them, that's even more creepy.
Yeah, when you're a ghost, no one's supposed to be able to see you, but then when someone sees you, all of a sudden things change.
Yeah, of course it's Rhea too.
Yeah.
But of course this is just the ball using the face of Rhea too, right? This is the ball is the ball telling him to cry off? And the fact that it was the Wicked Witch of the West to start, it was a green snarling face, and then it turns into the bald face of Rhea. So it's like, that's what makes me think, like, is it performing for the New Yorkers? It's showing them what they are familiar with before it turns into like Rhea's real face. Very interesting that the ball is attempting to make them cry off and abandon Roland. It's interesting that Flagg was trying to get Roland to cry off throughout this story, but here is this completely different force, and it's equally interested in getting the quest called off. I wonder why. Seems like Flagg and the ball would both have their own objectives, so for them to both be aligned seems interesting to me.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like an interesting, like, because I don't know, I don't think Flagg and the ball seem parallel in my brain, so for them both to be trying for the same thing is like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you know that Flagg has his own agenda. Like when he's working with Farson and stuff like that, he's using him.
Yeah.
To 100%, you know that, right? But then to see that all three of them, really, Farson, the ball, and Flagg all want Gilead to fall. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Like, you have to ask that question, why, you know?
Yeah.
Why is the bad guy doing this? Well, he wants to steal money. Oh, okay. Why is he doing this? He wants to end the world. Oh, okay. Why is he doing this? He wants to release a biological weapon to destroy Asia. You know, like, there's always a why to what the bad guy's doing. So why do the three of them want to do this? I think it's all the same answer. I think it's all to stop Roland from getting to the tower.
Yeah.
Why though? But again, you have to ask that again. Why?
Yeah. Baraki says the man in black, one can argue, manipulated him into killing all of Tull. I mean, he definitely set that whole trap
absolutely.
up,
That
right?
was 100% on him.
Yeah. So, and then Baraki also says, or is it the one controlling the ball, which is who?
Exactly.
So because that's a question too, because I always got the sense that so far with what we've seen, the balls seem, I mean, maybe I'm reading this into the text, but I've always assumed that the balls are kind of ancient and they're beyond, you know what I mean? And maybe that's just like taking some Tolkien stuff into this story that isn't necessarily like spelled out for us. But I've always got that sense that kind of like Rings and Lord of the Rings or the Palantirs or these ancient things too, that these aren't like, something that old Larry in the next county over made. Like, no, these are things that have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
They're legendary. The gunslingers all know about them. They know their reputations. They know which ones, they like, because even the dads, when they warn them, they're like, if you run into something, it might be the pink one. And it's like, so that's where like there was some warning given and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. That just makes me wonder. It doesn't mean that there can't be some larger evil that is guiding the ball. Who knows? That is definitely a larger question. So, So that's the last of my notes for this chapter.
Agamorphy says it's the ball. Rhea would not temporarily know who they are,
which would make sense because the ball.
The ball has no sound when you're watching it, so there's no way for the ball to communicate who these three are to Rhea, so that if this is her, how would she know who they are?
Yeah.
Also, that's very interesting, though. The ball has no sound. How is the ball talking then? Because every other time Rhea's gone into the ball or Roland's gone into the ball, it's been dead silent. So this changes the whole thing for how the ball operates.
Well, I don't know if it was silent when he was fully pulled into it. When he was hearing, like, didn't he hear, like, voices and stuff as he was flying through the storm and stuff?
So did Rhea not fully go into the ball then?
No, I think
she's always looking into the ball, but she's still inside herself.
Yeah.
She never left her body and went.
She never got projected into it. And I think
makes you wonder what happens if you are projected into the ball. Is this Rhea then projected into the ball? Does she give herself over, cast a spell or something, and give herself to the ball and become one with the ball?
Or at least a part of her does, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes part of that. It ate her alive in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So it's like, did it eat enough of her essence that it's literally able to, like, project her in a sense?
I wonder if after Charcuterie, what do you think Rhea does? After that, what do you think she does? I think she goes and finds a way to become one with the ball. I think that's what she does here, is that she goes and gives her essence over to the ball, which is why the ball is able to call her up, is because this is Rhea. But I think the ball is using her, but I still think that it is Rhea. I think this is actually Rhea.
Like I said,
that's just my thought
From my
process.
perspective, it doesn't mean that it didn't take some of her essence enough to where, like, part of Rhea lives in there. Not that it's, like, even conscious, because the fact that it knows so much about, like, Ermot and all this other stuff.
Which is why she's in such rough shape versus Roland, who's not in rough shape, because it didn't take anything from him.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it did pull him in a sense, like, that she didn't, though.
Yeah.
I think for her, it was always, like, TV.
Yeah.
And for Roland, it was like VR. He was like he was
put into the Matrix.
Yeah.
Versus watching the Matrix on a screen.
On the screen, 100%.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I think that's the difference. And I think that, the ball probably did that on purpose. I'm sure it sensed enough from Rhea to know, I'm not pulling this fucking thing in. Like, maybe she's too powerful. Maybe
that's what it is that if she got in there, then she would have some kind of semblance of control or something. But it slowly sucked just enough out of her.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely like it's a succubus in a lot of ways for sure. And again, she also had it for months and months and months, and it was like using it pretty much nonstop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So much so that old poor Ermot started to get lonely. He didn't have his crevice action anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Disgusting.
I only have one note here. I do want to notate this because I never really caught this line before. Jake tries to smash the ball.
Yeah.
And realizes that he could.
Yeah, because the ball's really there.
The ball's really there.
Like, so if Roland is not pulled into the whole thing and he's on the outside like Cuthbert and Alan were, he would see Jake going toward the ball type thing, right? Because it's real. They're all on, like, the Emerald Palace or whatever. Like, it's there, they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ball's really in danger.
Yeah, which is why
it's like, oh, flashbang, you're out, kind of thing. I've never caught that before, that Jake really could have smashed that ball.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that puts us at the end of subchapter, the end of chapter 4. Now we're going over to chapter 5, which is titled The Path of the Beam, which is the final chapter, 5 subchapters. And then we got subchapter 1, and I'm going to go back a little bit because Tad's last line is out of Oz and back to ... Home, Eddie muttered. His voice is punch drunk, sounding thick in his own ears. Back home because there is no place like home. He tries to open his eyes, and at first he can't. It felt like they were glued shut. He puts the heels of his hands to his forehead and pushes up, tightening the skin on his face. It worked. His eyes popped open, which is just weird to think about someone having to do that to get their eyes to open.
Yeah.
Like they're that stuff. That's weird. He was neither in the Green Palace or the bedroom. he had just been in. He was outside laying in a small clearing of winter white grass. Nearby was a little grove of trees, and some still had some of their last brown leaves clinging to a branch. One branch had one albino white leaf. There was a pretty trickle of water running further on in the grove. Standing abandoned in the high grass was Susanna's new and improved wheelchair. There was mud on the tires, and Eddie could see leaves, crispy and brown, caught in the spokes. Overhead, the sky was full of white clouds. The sky was clear when they had gone inside the palace, he thought, and realized time had slipped again. He didn't know how much time had passed. He also didn't know if he wanted to know. Roland's world was like a transmission with its gear teeth all but stripped away. You never knew when time was going to pop into neutral or race you away in overdrive.
Yeah. My first note, at least the new and improved wheelchair is still there.
Yeah.
That would have been a bad thing to lose.
Break out that harness, and Susanna's not going to be happy.
No, there would be more data than not.
Yeah, exactly. Time slippage, separated and not fully in control of his faculties. This must be a normal feeling for Junkie Eddie, but what about the others?
Yeah, probably disorienting.
Yeah.
For him, that's just Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. I love the line about Roland's world and how it works like a transmission with the gear stripped. It's such a good analogy for it.
Yeah. No, 100%. My other note here is, yeah, we've heard Roland say time is funny in his world a number of times, but I don't think we've ever experienced it, have we, as readers, like in this way?
I think the only time we've ever experienced time is funny is after the Golgotha, where it's like thousands of years have passed and eons have flown by.
You might make the argument of the shuffle, but I don't think that was. I think that was Roland coming out of the poisoning and Eddie detoxing. Like, I don't think that was truly like.
I don't think you really see it. Like, that's the thing, is like it's
like the shuffle.
You fade in, you see Eddie doing something, you fade out.
Yeah.
You fade in, you fade out. You're not.
I think some might argue that's like time slipping. I don't think that's time slipping. I think that's literally the fact that our only two characters that we're really like dealing with are both going through some serious shit at that. So you're basically fading in and out with them. So I don't think that's time slipping in the sense of what we just saw here. Because again, that's wild to me that we just, because Roland said that all the time where he's just like, I don't know. They ask him about time on a bunch of different things. He's just like, I don't know.
Time's weird.
Yeah, I think there's been a few times in book 3, or at least once or twice, they mentioned something about like the sun not maybe working like the gunslingers think it should. Like it moves too fast or too slow at times. But that doesn't feel like this, where you like, this feels like what is it, disassociative fugue, where it's like you're just now, it's wild.
David asks, leaves can be albino? Interesting to think about. Was this Roland's world, though? And if it was, how had they gotten back to it? Eddie thinks, then croaks out loud, how should I know? How should I know? And then slowly gets to his feet, wincing as he does. He didn't think he was hungover, but his legs were sore, and he felt as if he had just taken the world's heaviest Sunday afternoon nap. I hate those. I do this. One of the reasons why I don't nap very often. I very rarely take naps because I fucking dread waking up like this.
Yeah.
Because it happens, dude.
I mean, I don't nap because sleeping is stupid anyway. The fact I have to do it once is bad enough. I'm not fucking signing up for more of it.
Tad's one of those people that if you offered him the pill, that he takes a pill and he never has to
without
sleep.
Hesitating.
He would take that over like millions of dollars.
Without fucking hesitation, man. I'm doubling the time I have in my life.
I don't know about doubling. You only sleep for 8 hours a day. There's 24 hours in a day. That's not doubling.
Yeah, because
math ain't mathing.
Yeah, because there's a lot that goes around sleep too. You know,
you gotta get ready for sleep. You gotta unwind. You gotta lay down. You gotta have that last glass of milk, and more milk helps you go to sleep.
Okay, Homelander.
Gross. Don't taint milk like that. Roland and Susanna lay under the trees on the ground. The gunslinger was stirring, but Susanna lay on her back, arms spread extravagantly wide, snoring in an unladylike way that made Eddie grin. Jake was nearby with Oy sleeping on his side by his knees. As Eddie was looking at them, Jake opened his eyes and sat up. His gaze was wide but blank. He was awake, but had been so heavily asleep he didn't know it yet. Gruz, Jake said and yawned. Yep, Eddie said, that works for me. Eddie did a turn, looking at the horizon, and at a 3/4 of the turn, he spotted the Green Palace, and he estimated the distance at 30 miles away. Tracks from Susanna's wheelchair came from that direction. He could hear the thinny, but faintly. He thought he might be able to see it as well, but it looked to be about 5 miles back the way they had come. Where is the turnpike? Jake asked. His voice sounded thick and gummy. Oi joined him, stretching first one rear leg and then the other. That's going to be fucking adorable. Oh, big stretch. He was missing a booty, Eddie noticed. Eddie said maybe it was canceled due to lack of interest. Jake says he doesn't think they are in Kansas anymore. Eddie looks at him sharply. The tone of Jake didn't make Eddie think he was riffing on The Wizard of Oz. Jake says, not the one where Royals play or the Monarchs either. Eddie asks why he thinks that. Jake hoisted a thumb at the sky. Eddie looks up and saw he was wrong. The whole sky wasn't filled with clouds. It was still overcast, but directly overhead, a band of clouds was moiling toward the horizon as steadily as a conveyor belt. They were back on the path of the beam.
Yeah. A few things in the chat. Baraki does say he does nap if he's sick. I will say that's probably the one time I actually do nap, because and that's just science, because your body heals more when you're sleeping, so it'll help you get better quicker. But
I'm with you on that one. That is one time that I do nap regularly, is if I'm sick, put me under 7 blankets and I will pass out, and hopefully I wake up when I feel better. But there's those naps, man, where you just man, I'm so tired, I'm gonna go lay down. You lay down even for an hour, you wake up and you're just who am I?
And you know the other reason I don't nap, because here's the thing: if I'm really fucking tired, I'm holding out, because you know what? That night I'm gonna get the best sleep of my fucking life.
That's a great night's sleep coming.
So yeah, that's the other reason I'm not gonna nap, because there's at least 2 or 3 times in my life I've been up for at least 36 hours straight.
Yeah,
and it's there's no naps or anything, because it's because when I finally hit that sleep, man, that's some good stuff. David said, I will die when I sleep. Wait, I said that backwards. And then Baraki says, imagine how loud the thinny is if one could still hear it from 30 miles away.
5 miles.
I thought they said,
the Emerald Palace appeared 30 miles away. The thinny seemed about 5, is what Eddie said.
Oh, yeah. I mean, either way, yeah. It's still that's a long ways away.
That's quite a distance.
So to still be hearing that kind of thing. So, so they go into the ball at the Emerald Palace. They see the last bit of the story and wake up 30 miles away. That has to be disorienting. I almost think it'd be less disorienting to just not see the palace at all. Because then you're just we just flipped reality.
Oh, we just
it's that. It's I mean, that maybe is disorienting too. But that because that would trip me out, man. They just to lose time like that. That
if we just all of a sudden just passed out here and we woke up in downtown Salt Lake.
Yeah,
that's not even 30 miles. It's just wait, what the fuck?
yeah, 30 miles. That's damn near to Provo.
Yeah, it is
40-something miles to Provo.
Yeah,
so probably down to Lehigh or something.
I guess we haven't mentioned that. We're good. The whole state's burning, just not here.
Yeah, we're in danger.
Yeah.
I love that Oi lost one of his booties. That's pretty standard with animals
and small children.
I don't know about children.
We talked about it earlier, that the booties are, think of it like a kid's shoe, and that's kids lose those damn shoes all the fucking time.
Yeah. As if Eddie has any place to give Jake shit about if he were riffing on Wizard of Oz films.
Dude, he hasn't stopped. He's been insufferable this whole time.
Yeah, Eddie has no place to be sharply glancing at Jake there.
No.
So
it is good that they're back on the path of the beam. I know that them being off of it really was throwing a wrench in how they were feeling, and they were very unsettled being in Kansas and not being able to see the beam. So it's good that they're back.
Yeah. David asks, so visually impaired person, I want to ask, can people really see that far? I think that's really I think there's multiple times in this book where I'm just no. I mean, even with Roland, there's times where I'm I don't think people really see as far as some parts of this story tell. I think it depends really how things are laid out too, though. Because I mean, I've certainly been out driving to Wendover to Nevada or something.
Yeah.
There's certain points where it's I can see pretty far into the distance, but it's yeah, I don't know. There's been a few times throughout this story though where there's been times where it's that they see something and it's so far away, and I'm as I'm thinking in my head because when I remember being in grade school and my house is literally a mile from my school, and so I'd walk to and from school. So it's I feel I have a pretty good read on what a mile is. It's so whenever I hear any of these kind of things, I just project when I walked home every day times that by 20 or 30, whatever. I'm there's no fucking way you're still seeing or hearing. I don't know. And again, I know Roland's got crazy eagle eye to an extent, but it's I think
it also plays a part on the air quality, because I just looked at it right now on my weather app. It says that the air visibility is 10 miles.
Oh, I mean we're
also in a horrible situation here in Utah,
we're
where we
surrounded
have
in fires.
I think we have 20 active wildfires in the state currently.
It's completely aside, but I do think there might be some shit going on. I think there's some of this might be intentional.
Oh, 100%.
There's too many fires going out for the same time right now. It makes no sense.
And in pretty close proximity too. It's like
one
was set here, then 20 miles down the road another one was set, then 30 miles down the road another one was set.
It's like the LA fires a few years ago when they ended up finding a few people that were actually setting certain fires too.
Well, they've already arrested 2 people for the ones over on the east side, over by the Capitol and stuff like that. So it's like, some shit might be going down. It's weird, but the entire western states are burning. Idaho has wildfires, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, everyone's on fire. It's all bad. It's hell.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's just like we do have shitty air quality right now. But I will say that I've been up, like, on the western mountains here. Not even like top of the mountains, but like even like part of the way. You can see all the way across the valley. All the way across the valley. You can see the mountains on the other side. You can see details in buildings and stuff like that. So I can see it. That if you have a flat, open area, you've been in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Uninterrupted skyline, stuff like that. Imagine if they put a big fucking green emerald palace. I think you'd be able to see it.
Maybe.
That's what I'm because they are in Kansas.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think that's one of the things that we have to take into account here, especially in Utah, is that you're like, well, I can't see 30 miles. Well, yeah, because there's mountains blocking that. But if you put yourself out in Kansas, where there's just 30 miles of flat, like the degree of elevation is like less than 1%. I think it's possible. I think it's highly possible to see at least 30 miles.
X for doubt, but all right.
Well, Tad, when we go to Colorado, we're going to test it because when you get on the other side of the Rockies and you see that flatland, you're going to see a lot farther than 30 miles.
Yeah, I don't know. But we're also not just saying, because you also would have to see like a building of some kind, right, and be able to see it that far. And that's what I'm getting at. It's not that like, you can't see from one side of the valley to the other type thing. Like that's fine, whatever. But it's like see a building. I feel like because like there's like that tree on the way to Wendover. It's like about the 10-15 mile mark left of the drive, and it's just like that's where I like because I'm always looking for that because you're out in the middle and it's literally nothing. It's just desert.
It's it's the only landmark,
and it's
really.
like I don't think you see it 30 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think you see it that far away.
I wonder how far away it is. Also, it's very small. We're talking about a big green palace. it's big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
X for doubt.
Big difference.
My last note.
How far do you think the skyscrapers in New York are visible?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, they're hundreds of feet tall, and I don't think that the palace, well, maybe the palace is that big. So maybe that's where it's like
okay. I picture it like that golf pro shop pyramid. That's what I picture the Emerald Palace height wise. It's like the 5th biggest pyramid in the world. It's just some golf pro shop.
I've never heard of this.
It's back in Tennessee. I don't remember where it's at, but yeah, it's some crazy like level of like it's really high up there for like pyramids in the world. It's literally like a pro shop for like a golf course or something like
what the hell are you talking about?
I only know of it because of The Simpsons, but I've confirmed it is a real thing. All right.
I'm so confused right now. The Memphis Pyramid?
Is it so I was
Bass Pro Shops Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, so
Bass Pro Shop.
Didn't I say Tennessee? So I even guessed it right.
You got the thing right, but you got the wrong. It's not a golf. It's Bass Pro Shop. Okay.
I think yeah.
Images. Oh, okay. It's like the Luxor. It's a pyramid. Yeah,
it's a pyramid.
Duh. Fucking idiot. I'm such a moron sometimes. Good Lord. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Where we got off.
2.
We got off here. Let's get back on track. Did you do your last note there?
I did.
Okay.
Or no, I guess I didn't. I'm sorry. Jake is the first one to spot it. Sharp eye kid.
Like several other times so far.
Because usually Susanna, I think we've been given the sense that she's the sharpest of the New Yorkers when it comes to vision and stuff too. I think it was when like Roland is training her and stuff. He talked about how she was like the most trig, but also she had one of the sharpest eyes of them too. Because when they saw something in the distance, was it the palace maybe?
I think it might have been the palace.
And she was the first one to see it after Roland. Roland sees it first, of course.
Eddie was because he asked. He's like, Roland, is there something up there? And he's like, maybe
not.
Maybe go fuck yourself. David asked, why are people setting the Mormon lands ablaze? I don't know. People are stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Oh my God, I didn't even see Baraki's message. Brocky literally says because people are stupid. That is true.
Yeah, and it doesn't help the fact that we're in like a fucking 20-something year drought right now. Pretty bad,
it is.
so.
It is very, very. They just the governor just banned fireworks
Yeah, which is through the 4th though.
through the 5th. The 5th is what I
Well,
saw.
through the,
Which is the 4th of July.
but
so.
that's not covering the rest of the month.
No,
though,
it is
so
not covering
we'll
the rest of the month. And in Utah, our state Independence Day for the state is the 24th of July. Which, if he had any concern about the state, he should have gone all the way through July.
Yeah, just ban it.
They should have been banned for the
the
entire
whole
month.
summer,
The whole summer.
which doesn't matter.
We should not have fireworks. It is ridiculously dry outside right now.
Yeah,
And that's the thing with Utah. There is no fucking humidity.
it's as dry as Cordelia's muff.
Oh. I'm just picturing it's just like a dust cloud. Oh God. Okay, subchapter 2. Eddie, where are you, sugar? Susanna calls. Eddie looked down from the clouds making up the beam and saw her sitting up rubbing the back of her neck.
No, when Irma gets frisky. Well, that's Rhea though. Cordelia doesn't have any friskiness.
He's dead before Rhea meets Cordelia. She looked unsure where she was, perhaps even who she was. Yeah, I've been there before when I've woken up from a nap. The red cappies, the red cappies looked dull in this light. They were still the brightest thing in his line of sight until he looked down at his Cubans and realized they were also dull. He looked at the rest of the shoes that had been given to them, and they all seemed the same dull, as if some magic essential to them had been used up. Suddenly, Eddie wanted them off his feet. He sat down beside Susanna and gave her a kiss and said, "Good morning, Sleeping Beauty," or "afternoon" if it's that, and then quickly he hated touching them, getting the feeling that they were made from dead skin. He yanked the street boppers off. They no longer looked new, muddy, and scuffed. Eddie wondered how they had gotten that way, then realized why his legs ached and the wheelchair tracks that they had walked in their sleep to this place. In their sleep that they had walked.
I'm just going to go back to it because I missed it. Baraki also said you'd have to be 480 feet up to see something 30 miles away because the curvature of the earth and stuff, which is why you can't see that tree on the way to Wendover.
Oh.
So,
But the earth is flat.
people are going to think you really think that.
No, I don't really think that. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of. Folks, I've literally seen the curvature of the earth. I've been up in an airplane. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah, indeed.
It's round.
Yeah, but so yeah, essentially King has taken some artistic liberties for sure, but yeah, it is what it is. So my note here, imagine even in their dulled state how red the shoes or cappies would pop in this now largely natural environment. You're talking like greens and browns and maybe the blue of the sky, but beyond that, like
they're also in remember the grass is white here.
Yeah.
So it's like imagine putting like bright red ruby slippers from the Wizard of Oz.
Even if they're dulled.
Even if they're dulled a little bit, that's gonna pop in this setting.
Yeah, because like I always just picture like what would camouflage look like? That's mostly like your earthly tones. So that's largely what you're going to be seeing.
Green, black, brown, tan, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and so suddenly to have red in there is just like, whoa,
whoa, like whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Very fascinating by the dull shoes. Their powers are used up. Also fun to describe them like dead skin.
Yeah,
like yucky.
Like,
in honor of Hayden,
like Goldmember, taking the skin flakes off and eating it.
Tasty.
Which the thing I don't get is I heard that Mike Myers came up with that character while teasing his wife while he was in the bath. And I'm like, what part of that character?
I don't like that. There is.
I don't like that movie. So
me either. That is not a comforting thought. Walking 30 miles in your sleep through the thinny. Because the tracks lead back to the palace, and the thinny is that way. So,
well, the thinny was off the side of the.
I know, but the road's gone. So, through the thinny, even though that's still scary after you seeing what the thinny can do to people, that is terrifying to think that you just walked through that
and its hands can come out.
Yeah, no, fuck that shit. No, I don't want to hear that I did that.
Yeah, so I mean Baraki does say over 30 miles. It's easy to believe they traveled 458 feet higher. Wouldn't even be that noticeable of a grade upwards type thing.
Baraki also says this isn't Earth, so numbers may be different. So
yeah,
I really wonder how far it is from that, like the base of that mountain to downtown, because I can see the buildings clearly when you're just up on the base of this mountain? I'm really curious like that. I wish there was if anyone knows of a website where I could put a point and then draw a point and it's like, it's this far by the crow flies.
There is.
I've never been able to. It's always like, here's how you drive it.
No, I've seen that before. I just don't know what it's called. I don't remember what it's called. In my note here, yeah, this is wild. Then to feel the results of it, as you said earlier, maybe not an unusual feeling for Eddie, but the rest of them, it's probably tough to wrap their heads around. And also like the fact that you've got like the soreness and stuff too, like you've expended yourself, but you have no memory of it. Like imagine that your muscles are sore, you're tired, your feet are sore. That's just weird, man. Like your hands will probably be sore from pushing the wheelchair. So, yeah, very, very strange.
All right. So we're going on to we're still in this subchapter. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Susanna says that this is the best idea he's had in a long time and takes her cappies off. Jake is helping Oi get his booties off. Susanna asks Eddie if they are really there when he and it kind of ... there. And Roland cuts in and says, "When I killed my mother, yes, you were. As I was." So Roland was there. He wasn't just standing outside watching.
I mean, is it, or is he speaking in the sense of like he was there because he fucking did it?
As I was. God's help me, I was there. I did it. So
well, that's what I'm saying.
So yeah, I that's why I wanted to read it, because I think it actually supports what you're saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he covered his face with his hands and began to voice harsh sobs. God, that's the most emotion we've ever seen from Roland.
No, when he was going mad, he was pretty much in tears. Like, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But this is not. That was a pretty extreme circumstance. This is not in that same sense, right?
I mean, this is extreme. Remembering you murdering your mother.
I mean, we were getting damn to the point where he was almost going to have Eddie put him out of his misery.
Yeah,
that's
just put me down.
That's how we were getting. We're not quite there, but we were damn near there. So, yeah.
Susanna urged his face down to her against her shoulder. "Be easy, Roland," she said. "Be easy and let it go. This part is over now. You passed it." "A man doesn't get past such a thing," Roland said. "No, I don't think so. Not ever." "You didn't kill her," Eddie says. "That's too easy." The gunslinger's face was still against Susanna's shoulder, but his words were clear enough. Some responsibilities can be shirked. Some sins can't be shirked. Yes, Rhea was there in a way, but I can't shift it all to the coups. Much as I might like to. Eddie says it wasn't her either. That wasn't what he meant. Roland raised his head. "What the hell's name are you talking about?" Eddie says, "Ka. Ka like a wind." Which is exactly what Susan said.
Yeah. So Roland thinks they were actually there when it happened. So does the ball allow a less than solid form of time travel then? Like, was it spiritually bringing them to the past? Like, I don't know. I guess, like, we don't know how literal Roland is being here. I know that Roland's not necessarily the most poetic type person, but it's like, is he seeing it from the perspective of, like, he knew what it was like to go through the ball because it happened to him and he saw things that later would be in his future? I don't think that he would say, like, "Oh, I was in Toll when I was a boy because I saw elements of Toll while I was in the ball," right? Is he more just being like, "No, yeah, you literally just saw what happened"? You know what I mean? Is he being a little bit more, a little bit less literal, I guess?
I don't know. Like, because also, like, him saying, like, "I was there," it goes back to what we were just talking about. Was he there, or was it 14-year-old Roland was there?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. And then also Roland being so emotional is actually not as shocking now. Maybe it was spending so much time with younger Roland now and the mind-splitting stuff in the last book. I think Roland has really warmed up and been humanized quite a bit from the Terminator that we saw in the first couple books.
100%.
You know, like, because I'm not going to say there's not some shock to, like, seeing, like, Roland, like, sobbing, but I don't think it's nearly as shocking as I would have thought a few books back, I guess. So I do think that, we've been seeing a lot of humanization of Roland.
I think we've been seeing it since book 2. I think since book 3.
Yeah. That's
the woods with Shardik. Starting there, I think we started to see the humanizing of Roland, him going insane, coming back from it, the conversations with Jake, and then rescuing Jake and Ludd, and then spilling his heart here in this. You definitely see that. And then he is not just some Terminator like we thought.
No, and then to spend the entirety of this book basically with younger Roland, which isn't quite to that, old not grizzled stage, right?
He's not even close to that stage.
Having all of that, I'm just nowhere near as, like, shocked to see this as, if I had read this at the end of book 2, though, just this part of Roland sobbing, that would have been that probably would have spiraled me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I would have dealt, like, how you even managed, like, thinking it through that, right?
Oh, I don't know.
From the Roland we saw in books 1 and 2.
I couldn't. I can't even fathom going through that.
Yeah.
Deep stuff here from Eddie saying that is the wind. You know, like that's something that you would expect Roland to be talking about, but this is Eddie here telling Roland that.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's
Doing the old Robin Williams. What was that? Which one is it with him and I always get all of his serious movies mixed up. The one where he's like has what's his name? Matt Damon?
Good Will Hunting.
Is it Good Will Hunting? Yeah.
Pretty sure.
There's that. Yeah. There's like 3 or 4 of them, and I don't know why they always start to like smash up in my brain because they're just like whatever. Yeah. Where he keeps telling him it's not his fault.
Yeah, Damon's in Good Will Hunting. Yeah. It's that one.
Yeah.
Eddie's deep stuff here, but then also Roland has all his dirty secrets out there where the ka-tet can see them. What's going to happen next? Here it is.
And I will say,
here's the worst of it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I will say that I think it's like good because I do think that Roland has had more vision on the rest of their dirty secrets than so I guess like this is a good balancing and equaling of the relationships because Roland was
like a knight when Eddie and Susanna met him. So he's like on this pedestal, but now he's
literally been in their heads.
Yeah.
So he knows every bit of their secrets.
Yeah.
He knows everything about
all the heroin, everything, all the
yeah.
split personality with Detta and Odetta.
Yeah,
and
what Detta
like
was
that.
doing in the Roadhouse.
Maybe not so much with Jake. I think Jake's always been a little bit different than Roland, but
kids are they're
a lot easier. They're also not nearly as moral.
I don't want to say shallower, but I just think
they're not mature enough to give him a moral rating. You know,
they don't have. Yeah, he's not going to have nearly the skeletons in his closet. So I do think that there's an equality that comes from this. The fact that now the rest of them kind of know his story, it kind of puts him a little bit more on an even keel. I think.
I appreciate you, Baraki. He does show that Google Earth and Google Maps have a distance measuring. From Harriman to downtown is about where I was thinking, is only 18 miles. That is a lot less than I thought it was.
Yeah.
It is not that wide here in the valley.
No, because again, you're talking 40-something miles as to Provo.
Yeah.
So it's like when you think of 35, like you're down to Orem maybe.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. I've always thought that it was farther across the valley, but it seems like it's not that far.
So you know what I was thinking? I just looked it up yesterday. It's like a 2.5-hour drive when I go to Phoenix in September.
Yeah.
For me to go further south if I want to go visit Tombstone. I'm trying to decide if I want to
go make the pilgrimage.
Take a 3-hour drive to go down to Tombstone. I don't know if I'll ever get unless I take in like another Phoenix trip of some kind. But I'm already driving quite a bit because I'm driving to Phoenix. So I'm not sure if I want to add another. But
yeah, I just measured the valley and where I deem is like the widest point, and it is literally less than 20 miles. It's 17.2. Yeah. It just blows my mind. I've lived here my entire life, and I've just never put 2 and 2 together. It's not that wide.
No,
like that's not that wide. Like
no.
Holy shit.
No.
All right.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Today I learned.
Indeed.
And
you learned about the pyramid in Tennessee.
I did learn about the pyramid in Tennessee. I've never heard of that thing. I also learned that a pyramid is a pyramid. Fucking idiot.
Well, it's in The Simpsons too. When Homer has his fucking pepper nightmare when he eats that hot chili pepper.
Oh, I don't remember
the
that.
Johnny Cash episode. Johnny Cash is like the little coyote.
The coyote, yeah.
And in his whole vision, he's on a pyramid. Then he wakes up and says, "Oh, that was just the pro shop." And it's like the fucking pro shop's up on a pyramid.
I don't remember. I have no memory of that. I remember the coyote. I remember Johnny Cash, but no.
Yeah.
All right. So Subchapter 3. In their packs were food none of them had put there. Cookies with Keebler elves on the package. Saran wrapped sandwiches that look like they came from a turnpike vending machine. Wouldn't trust that. And a brand of cola neither Eddie, Susanna, or Jake knew. It was tasted like Coke, and it came in a red and white can. But the brand was Nozala. They ate a meal with their backs to the grove and their faces to the Green Palace. They called it lunch, but Eddie thought they could change it to supper if they started losing light soon. But he didn't think that they would. His internal clock was running again, and the mysteriously accurate device said it was late afternoon. And then I got a quote here from the book. At one point, he stood up and raised his soda, smiling into an invisible camera. When I'm traveling through the land of Oz in my new Takuro spirit, I drink Nozala, he proclaimed, It fills me up, but never fills me out. It makes me happy to be a man. It makes me know God. It gives me the outlook of an angel and the balls of a tiger. When I drink Nozala, I say, gosh, ain't I glad to be alive? I say, Jake interrupts laughing, saying, sit down, you bum hug. Oi chimes in with his classic ugh. His snout was resting on Jake's ankle, watching Jake's sandwich with great interest.
Indeed. Yeah. So Keebler Cookie seems like a tip of the cap to Eddie, who is hoping for helpful elves and Lud.
Oh, okay. That could be a little callback there. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would eat food that magically appeared in my pack after having a showdown with Flagg.
Why not? He's a lovable character.
Nope.
Making sure they're all well fed.
With poison. I don't know if I trust it. I'm just saying. I don't know if I'd eat it. I think I'd stick to my gunslinger burritos. I know where they've been.
Keebler. The elves make sure they're not.
I don't think Flagg would make the sandwiches himself. I think he would have TikTok man, and that just.
At least it wasn't Gasher.
I don't think he knows about hand sanitizing and washing.
I don't think that exists in this world.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I would trust someone making my sandwiches then.
It's like, why has this bread got brown spots on it?
There's a movie that has that where someone's eating a sandwich and they have like oil. Like
they do
working on
that.
a car.
People do that all the time.
I fucking like revolt at that idea. Just like, what the fuck are you doing? Wash your goddamn hands.
Yeah.
Or get a paper towel. Like, there's other ways than putting your fucking oil-crusted fingers on the sandwich. What are you doing?
Oh, let's see. Agamorphy says Nozala is mentioned in Joe Hill's Nosferatu.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've actually read that one, and that one multiple times I had to remind myself I wasn't reading a King book because there was some Dark Tower references. There was a few references to the point where and it was very Kingian in its writing. Because from what I understand, Joe Hill does not write like King in a lot of ways.
No.
Like he has his own distinct style.
Yeah.
But I've only read Nosferatu, and that's very Kingian. So I do
It
think
is.
that was kind of his tribute to his dad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Brocky asked, interesting question. If you were to name a new soda, what would you name it? Not Nozala for sure.
I don't know.
Retep. Hey, you got any cold retep?
Pam? That's just stupid.
I mean,
What are you just speaking backwards now?
it's just my name backwards. Why not? You know, what the fuck not?
Surprised you didn't do Dr. Pepper backwards.
Repep? Erd? That sounds dumb.
Or you
Retep.
say road.
Yeah. Oh, retep. That's gonna be a thing now, isn't it? God damn it.
Let's see. So, and then thank God Nozala tastes like Coke and not Pepsi.
Dad hates Pepsi so much.
I would have dumped that shit.
So much.
I don't care how far removed I am from the earth and how far long it's been since I've had fucking soda. I would taste one taste. If it tastes like fucking Pepsi, it's going on the ground.
Remember, Roland likes Pepsi.
Well, good for him. Or I'd give it to Oi. Let the creature have it. Although he probably wouldn't like it. Bubbles in the nose.
No.
Dogs don't usually like soda.
I was gonna ask, have you ever given your dog soda?
Yeah.
I've never
they
seen
hate
someone
it.
give their dog soda.
My favorite one that I've seen people doing online at times is they'll give sparkling water to their dogs in their dog dish.
Oh yeah, they don't know what to make of it because it's like, why the hell is this bubbly?
Yeah, pretty much. Why is the
I
water
like that.
spicy?
Why is it spicy? I like that. Did Eddie never change? I hope Eddie never changes. This is perfect Eddie right here. Tension breaker, makes people smile. Jake's laughing. That's what Eddie's there for.
Yep.
What a good bard.
Of course, Oi is just still focusing on the sandwich.
Food. Good old boy. What a good boy.
Is he looking at the sandwich or Jake's hand?
God damn it, Dad. Stop it.
That's the real question.
No. God damn it, Baraki.
Yes! It would make Oi more aggressive and dangerous.
The Oi slander is just unheard of. It's you guys are just the worst. Going on, as Eddie is about to sit down, he realized what he thought was albino leaf wasn't a leaf at all. It was a scrap of paper. He looked down and turned it over and saw columns of blah, blah, blah and yak, yak, and all the stuff's the same. On the other side was a message. Next time, I won't leave. Renounce the tower. This is your last warning and have a great day. RF. And below that was a drawing of a cloud with a thunderbolt coming out of it. And I think we have a picture of that.
C.
Yeah.
See, such a happy thing. Just Flagg just leaving little notes in the lunches and,
With the thunder cloud.
Yeah.
Lightning bolt.
He's a good man, that Flagg.
Hmm.
Always looking out for
I
people.
don't think so.
Bringing people back from the dead.
Does that ever turn out good for anyone?
I mean, it would have if Roland didn't come and kill the guy.
Does it ever turn out good for anyone? When you bring people back from the dead, does it ever turn out good?
Not in King, but,
Okay. Eddie takes the note back to the others and each take a turn looking at it. Roland held it last and ran his thumb over it thoughtfully. RF, Eddie said. The man who is running TikTok. This is from him, isn't it? Yes, Roland says. He must have brought TikTok man out of blood. Sure, Jake says darkly. That guy Flagg looked like somebody who would know a first-class bum hug when he found one. But how did he get here before us? What could be faster than Blaine the Mono, for cripe's sake? A door, Eddie said. Maybe they came through one of those special doors. Bingo, Susanna said and held out her hand, and Eddie slapped it. Roland says, in any case, that what was suggested is not bad advice. He urges all of them to consider it most seriously. And if you want to go back to your world, I will allow you to go.
That is interesting. So not only food, but a friendly note as well. What a peach.
No. Oh, Jake saying Randall Flagg is a bum hug.
More slander.
I love it.
More
I
slander.
love it. I love the idea that Randall Flagg, what a bum hug. I'm going to call him that from now on. He's a bum hug.
He's the hero of the story.
No, he's not.
Every story he shows up in. And Flagg having a door to get ahead of them, that's definitely an interesting thought. If he has unfettered access to a door that he can control, it sure gives the idea that Chase at the beginning of the series a whole new spin.
Yeah, I know. He just pops in every now and then to make sure
Sets
that
the
Roland
fire.
sets the fire and then pops back out and he's sitting somewhere
On a
comfy.
beach.
Yeah, drinking a mimosa or some shit like that.
I love mimosas. They're quite delicious. Yeah, no, that is quite interesting. I think that has to be the answer, right? Like, because he does, because like Ludd was pretty locked down, and Flagg just kind of appears there.
Yep.
Like that, it's got to be doors or some sort of like teleportation. Like he's not bound.
Yeah, he's not crossing that bridge.
I mean, I guess he can't turn into a crow, but can a crow fly faster than Blaine?
No.
Or is he just on Blaine? A crow's on the
It's the crow's on top of it, screaming its wings out.
Its hair's all. It's like feathers are all poofed. Like.
Blaine stops and it just kind of the ka-tet get down. They hug Roland. They go off, and then you see the crow thud. Flagg gets up. Oh,
Yeah, indeed.
Roland giving them leave to turn back.
Yeah, and my note is that growth. It sure seems like Roland in book 2 saw the others as his pawns for his mission. And he was never going to give Eddie the choice of any way to go back. Like, because I think we even brought that up. I mean, that was years ago now, but it's like when we were in that book club, it's like, is it really like right to just tell this dude like, nope, you're not ever going to your world again? Like,
Mine now. You're stuck here.
Yeah, like so this does kind of feel like a lot of growth for Roland. So that just want to give him a tip of the cap there for that.
Don't give him a lot, but there's some growth there.
Yeah. Indeed.
So going on, I got a lot of quotes here from the book because it's an important part. Eddie says he can't believe Roland. This after you drag Susan and him all over the world kicking and screaming, then tells him that Henry would say Roland is contrary as a hog on ice skates. Roland responds, and here's a quote from the book. I did what I did before I learned to know you as friends, Roland said. Before I learned to love you as I loved Elan and Cuthbert. And before I was forced to revisit certain scenes. Doing that he paused, looked down at his feet. He put his old boots back on again. And thinking hard, at last he looked up again. There was part of me that hadn't moved or spoken in a good many years. I thought it was dead. It isn't. I have learned to love again, and I am aware that this is probably my last chance to love. I'm slow. Van and Court knew that, so did my father, but I'm not stupid. And then Eddie tells him not to act that way or to treat them as if they were. And then going on directly from the book, what you call the bottom line, Eddie, is this. I get my friends killed, and I'm not sure I can risk doing that again. Jake especially. Never mind, I don't have the words. For the first time since I turned around in a dark room and killed my mother, I may have found something more important than the tower. Leave it at that.
I'm just going to pause there because I don't have a note on this, but just calling Jake out specifically, because like Roland didn't even believe the promise that he gave Jake.
Yeah.
In book 3.
he had doubts.
He gave the promise, but then he kind of asked himself, and there was no answer given.
Would I?
And like, yeah, so it's just like there was enough doubt there. So like the fact that he's calling Jake out specifically is kind of an interesting,
Exactly.
twist on what we've previously established.
Eddie says he can respect that. Susanna says she can too, but Eddie is right about Ka. She takes the note and traces a finger over it. Roland, you can't talk about Ka, and then turn around and take it back again, just because you get a little low on willpower and dedication. Again, quoting from the book here for the rest of the subchapter. Willpower and dedication are good words, Roland remarked. There's a bad one, though, that means the same thing. That one is obsession. She shrugged it away with an impatient twitch of her shoulders. Sugar Pie, either this whole business is Ka or none of it is. And scary as Ka might be, the idea of fate with eagle eyes and a bloodhound's nose, I find the idea of no Ka even scarier. She tossed the RF note aside on the matted grass. Whatever you call it, you're just as dead if it runs you over, Roland said. Reimer, Thorin, Jonas, my mother, Cuthbert, Susan, just ask them, any of them, if you only could. You're missing the biggest part of this, Eddie said. You can't send us back. Don't you realize that, you big galoot? Even if there was a door, we wouldn't go through it. Am I wrong about that? He looked at Jake and Susanna. They shook their heads. Even Oy shook his head. No, he wasn't wrong. We've changed, Eddie said. Now he was the one who didn't know how to go on. How to express his need to see the tower. And his other need, just as strong, to go on carrying the gun with the sandalwood insets. The big iron was how he'd come to think of it, like in that old Marty Robbins song about the man with the big guns on his hip. It's Ka, he said. It was all he could think of, was big enough to cover it. Ka, Roland replied with a moment's consideration. The three of them stared at him, mouths open. Roland of Gilead had made a joke. And that's the end of the subchapter.
Yeah.
My first note here is just, wow, I forgot this part was here. This is so important to the whole story.
Yeah.
And especially with aspects of like what we've already talked about with like Roland as a person and as a character, with the whole Terminator aspect of his personality. That is completely shattered here.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that we've known that that's been, changing quite a bit. I mean, I think that even the I don't know what you call it, vulnerability.
Yeah.
With the mind splitting stuff. Like, we've definitely, got a whole different, like we've gotten a lot of different layers to Roland even before this book started. And obviously this book has shown us quite a bit to really inform the character. So, there's a lot going on here for sure. So yeah, Roland sees that this might be his last chance to love again. And that line about the first time killing his mother, he may have found something more important than the tower. That's a pretty big line.
It's massive.
So
it's like I said, I've completely forgotten about this part.
Yeah, and the fact that he calls out obsession as well. He calls it an obsession. Mm-hmm. So that's that is one step shy of calling it an addiction, but that's what it is too, right? But it's an obsession, like that's. Yeah. For him to call that out, it is interesting for sure.
I mean, Eddie's been saying tower junkie for what, 3 books now? So,
yeah,
2 books now.
Yeah,
no, 2, 3, and 4. So,
yeah. But really though, there are 2 things going on here that I think are crucial. One, Roland has come to love and respect, these New Yorkers, and he has enough self-awareness that that no one travels with him lives, which is why he's offering them an out. The other part is the consideration that maybe he values them more than the tower. And I find both those equally fascinating. And I think also that does kind of for sure paint the fact that like Roland did not value them.
No.
When he pulled them in, any of them. Like
no, he absolutely did not. They
were all pawns.
100%.
They were all pawns, and
maybe not Jake because there's an aspect of curing the madness and stuff like that, but Susanna, Eddie, and then Mort, absolutely not. They were tools.
Yeah,
they weren't even people.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I think this is definitely interesting, and I do think that this might be some of the most meaty stuff in the entire tail end ever since we finished the story here. Since we finished Charlie Tree and got to like back to the present, this might be some of the most meaty stuff. I mean, we did have some tower stuff we talked about last time,
Yeah.
right? Which was pretty big because we're seemingly halfway through the series now, and we still don't know shit about the tower pretty
No,
much.
we don't know
So,
fuck all.
I remember being quite frustrated by that as a first-time reader. So, yeah. That's definitely an interesting line. But yeah, I just wanted to point those two both those things are very, very crucial to me. And I just wanted to point them out there because they're being kind of shown at this very, very closely to each other. And I think it might be easy on a breeze to just look at those as one thought, but it's not. There's two different thoughts there. And I think they're both extraordinarily valuable to the conversation of kind of who Roland is. Which is interesting because this whole book's been about who Roland is, right?
It is.
Like getting his backstory, like that. That's why this book is so critical. It's why it's my favorite book because it's like it contextualizes Roland more than anything else that we've seen up to this point. And this beyond just the backstory contextualizing it, this is now contextualizing the present Roland in a way that it's giving us context we've never had before.
Exactly. And again, Eddie has the moment of telling Roland, like he did exactly in Wastelands, that they're in it to the end, and he even. In Wastelands it was a little bit different.
See ya, Agamorphy. He's got a.
See ya, Agamorphy. Thanks for stopping by.
Yep. See ya.
I love this one a little bit more than the one in Wastelands because the one in Wastelands is Eddie and Roland one-on-one, and he tells him that this is how the others feel, but they're not there. It's Eddie and Roland. This one, Eddie turns around and says, "Right, guys," and both of them nod. Even Oi assents and nods. So all four of them are with Roland. And it's just, we need Roland to understand that they're with him, and he needs to stop having this like regret that he's dragging them along because he has realized that was wrong.
I think, 100%. But I don't think, I do think to an extent Eddie kind of I don't think Eddie's necessarily being like shitty with him.
No, I don't think that either.
But like, I do think that like he's giving them agency that he previously was not allowing them.
Yeah.
And I think there's some frustration that I'm seeing from Eddie here that I think is unfair. Like, you shouldn't be frustrated. He's literally, maybe Eddie doesn't realize how much we know more about Roland than Eddie probably does to know how big this is. He is granting you your own agency. He's granting you agency and choice, and that's something that you largely have not had. I mean, Eddie of all of them, nobody knows it more than Eddie. That he had no fucking choice in book 2.
Yeah.
So, So, again, I think Eddie's coming at it from a little bit of frustration. And I think that, like, from my perspective, though, it's like maybe Eddie's missing the point a little bit here. It's like he is granting you the choice that he denied you previously.
I think it just comes down to this is one of those instances where what Roland's doing is saying, hey, I understand, if you found this out about me. I understand if you want to end the relationship. I understand if you want to break up, and stuff like that's basically what it comes down to. And this is where the person, Eddie, is saying, dude, I'm in this. Like, I had to break it to you, man. I'm in this till the end. Like, what you've done in your past isn't going to change that. And that's where I think Eddie's coming from.
Yeah.
Is that it's just like, you have to accept that we're with you.
Yeah.
We've heard the absolute worst that has happened. We've heard the absolute worst that you've done, and I want you to understand that we are with you.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it comes across as, like, frustrated. I think it just comes down to, like, we are here. We are with you. We're going to the tower.
Yeah.
And that's how it comes across to me. And then I think that it does come to a point where they kind of understand each other because Roland cracks a joke to break the tension. Yeah. And if Roland wasn't on the same level as Eddie, I don't think he would have done that.
Yeah, but I think that it's kind of after, because I think that this is the ultimate. This moment here is what I think Roland ultimately feared, right?
Will they go or will they stay?
This moment of choice after all the cards are on the table.
It's the joke to break the tension. It's the relief joke.
Yeah,
you tell your girlfriend of 5 years, hey, actually, I've been keeping this from you. I actually have a kid. Yeah. All right, is she going to go? Is she going to stay? That kind of like drama kind of thing and everything like that. And then she's like, no, I'm with you thick or thin. How old is he? What's his name? That kind of shit, That's where you make the, the joke and you break the tension and you start dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
That's what Roland did. He's the one. Usually it's Eddie that does that.
Yeah. That was my last note. Roland and Eddie flipping roles here.
Yeah, it's very interesting that Eddie's being like the serious one and then Roland's like, yeah, caca.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. All right. So, subchapter 4 now. So Susanna says there's one thing she doesn't understand about what they saw. She asked why Gabrielle hid behind the drapes when she came in, or when he came in. She asked if she meant to kill him. Roland said she would not have chosen a belt if that were her goal, a hand-woven belt with his initials on it. He thought it was a gift to mend the relationship, and it changed her mind about killing Stephen. Eddie wondered if that was what Roland knew or what he wanted to believe, but it was a question he would never ask. So that's kind of interesting. Eddie keeping his mouth shut? What the fuck is this world? Roland's joking. Eddie's keeping his fucking mouth shut.
Where are we?
Yeah, it's like, God, is Oi going to not bite Jake now or something?
Is Randall Flagg going to do something good? No.
Oh, he always does.
No, he doesn't.
He packed him a lunch. Roland had been through enough reliving all of this. Roland continued and said he thinks that she hid because she was ashamed or because she needed a moment to think of what to say and how to explain it. Susanna asked about the ball. Was it really there, and did she steal it from Stephen? Roland said yes to both, but he asked if she stole it, and he seemed to be asking himself this question. He said his father knew a lot but kept a lot to himself. Susanna said, like knowing about Gabrielle and Martin, and Roland agreed. Susanna asked that he did not believe that he was. Susanna asked that he did not believe that he had knowingly allowed him to. And Roland finished her question and tried to smile but could not, and said, having knowingly allowed his son to kill his wife. He said no, he didn't believe that as much as he'd like to. But he did allow Ka to run its course. So that's definitely an interesting question.
Yeah, it is.
How much did Stephen?
I mean, the ball's gone. Does Stephen know that it's gone? If he knows that it's gone, he knows who took it. Does he know what the ball can do? Yes. He's very terrified of it. That's very obvious from the first time that Roland's like, "Hey, look what I got," and Stephen's like, "Oh, fuck," and
Yeah.
takes that, disappears, locks it away, comes back. So, boys, how was the trip?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like nothing fucking happened.
Yeah. I love Eddie's growth here. A few books back, there was never going to be a time that Roland would be wrong or what Eddie perceived was wrong, and he would not call him out. So for him to hold his tongue here is very admirable.
Yep.
Like, it's just, he's got that like younger brother mentality with Roland, and so that, yeah, I got to give him some props there. And also, why did Gabrielle have the ball? Was she going to steal it, murder Stephen, and flee to Martin?
That's a question.
Yeah, indeed.
I wonder, this is where my note comes in. What did the ball show her? Because it's not covered, it's not in a bag, it's sitting out on the table.
Yeah, but remember, it doesn't always show. Sometimes it's just dead.
It was dead when Roland walked in, that's true. But I'm wondering.
And with Rhea, like, it went dead for a while. So again, it's very sentient. It knows it's like the mist.
But
Sentient.
it makes me wonder here, because Roland has this idea that Gabrielle was peace offering. I'm not going to kill Stephen. I'm going to beg forgiveness. I'm going to do everything that you want me to do, Roland, so that we can mend this and move on with our lives. And I'm wondering if the ball showed her something that made her change her mind, because here's my thought process. She has a knife dipped in poison that's supposed to kill Stephen.
Yeah.
Right? She has it in her possession right now.
Yeah.
She goes and takes the ball because that's what she's supposed to do. Kill Stephen, bring the ball, go to Martin. When she gets back to her room, the ball shows her something. I don't know what. Shows her what her life could be with Roland and Stephen and maybe a daughter, maybe another son. Maybe it shows her something.
Well,
and so
definitely no grandkids.
And maybe in this version there is. You don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Roland finds someone else. I know that Susan's gone and everything like that. Maybe it shows her what Roland went through.
Yeah.
She doesn't know. I bet she doesn't know.
No.
That's not something that they're going to put out on the telegraph wire.
Even if it was like completely told to Stephen, he's not telling her.
No. So maybe the ball shows her something like that, and she's like, I got to make a change. I can't do this. And so that's the peace offering. She gets the belt that she had made for him or made herself. And at the moment that Roland comes, she gets cold feet. What if he yells? What if he's mad? And so she hides.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the ball intended.
Just need like a moment to compose yourself, right?
Exactly.
It's like if it were her seeking him out, she just needed some more time. But since he's now knocking on the door,
and comes in, he doesn't
Yeah.
even wait for her to come to the door. He comes in. If he had waited at the door for her to compose herself, this would have gone differently, I think.
yeah, 100%.
But I'm wondering if that's what happened.
so
I
what you're
wonder.
saying it's a lesson to all children: don't open your parents' doors.
It's 100% a lesson. Don't ever just barge into your parents' room. Please don't. I wonder if she looked in the ball out of curiosity and was put under the spell by the ball or by Rhea, and that's why she hides, or if it truly is that she has remorse. I think there's two aspects there that we need to give consideration to. Or, like you said, the ball didn't light up at all, and she came to that decision on her own.
Yeah,
It's entirely possible
Brock-
that that's what happened, because deep down you got to believe that she's a good person.
yeah,
Is she under
I mean,
Martin's? She's under
yeah.
Martin's spell. They make that very clear that she has no control over what's happening. Martin's a bad guy and is making her do things to get to Steven.
yeah. Brocky mentions Flanagan could flesh some more of this out, which it could be nice. Like, could,
Oh, yeah.
could Flanagan show us what the Gabrielle and Ball interaction?
Oh, could. Absolutely, you could.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it's his wife.
Oh yeah.
I think his wife's Gabrielle.
Oh yeah.
I think that's because again, it. But then again, honestly, tell me who in this cast he's gonna be able to put any of his regulars in that won't be smaller roles, except for the ka-tet. Like, who in this series is actually in here enough to where they're not just gonna be in like a season or maybe even
Yeah.
a small part of a season, then you don't see him again for the rest of the series. Like,
I mean, the only other
this
one,
whole
the
whole
only
story
other
is
one
so
maybe Flagg.
yeah, this whole story is so goddamn spread out that it's just like any of his regulars, they're
Yeah.
you know,
You're
if-
gonna have someone for Ludd. You're gonna have someone for River Crossing. You're gonna have someone for
in future books
for
but
book 2 with all the doors and stuff like that.
yeah,
And then there's things in the future books, but they're not. They're
They're
not through
they're
lines.
not, no, there's really not.
So
Unless any of them get ka-tet roles,
he should
That's-
make a rule that it needs to be only 1 or 2 per season. Don't put them all in season 1 and then be like, well, now what the fuck am I gonna do?
yeah, pretty much.
They're all in Tull.
he does have quite a big
The family
Family
is
now.
large.
Now here's one for you. This is unorthodox.
Okay,
Matthew Lillard is Flagg.
is he? Oh,
It seems like wrong at first, but honestly, Flagg has a sense of humor. Could Matthew Lillard, which is the Flanagan family now,
yeah.
could he be a fucking Randall Flagg? That's an unorthodox pick, man, but I don't hate it.
I don't either.
I don't hate it.
I don't either.
Especially with all the sense of humor you get from Flagg throughout all of his things. Like, and I think
And it's uncouth humor too, like laughing at the wrong moment, but it's supposed to be
tittering
like,
laughter.
yeah, like the meeting with Jonas where he just shows
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
the fuck's wrong with you, dude? That Matthew Lillard's very good at that.
I think I might. That's a dark horse pick, but I think I like it.
Mm.
So, so my note here. Also, Susanna's question about Steven setting this up. Of course, at first blush, is not really a thing. But then again, you think about it, it's not entirely something we would have been shocked to see Roland do earlier in the series. So
And Steven
the
is
apple doesn't
his
fall.
dad?
Yeah, the
you know?
apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I mean, realistically, if you do that, it kind of clears up everything without Steven having to do a damn thing.
Yeah.
No, my wife is gonna assassinate me. That's gonna
well.
look bad when I have to kill her or have her hanged or something.
Yeah,
What's that? Let her steal the ball and have my son do it for me?
yeah.
Shit.
Someone earlier in the chat asked if there was like an investigation or any kind of like
Yeah.
what was the repercussions of Roland killing his mom. Sorry, I lost that in the chat. That was a while back, actually.
I was kind of waiting. It's right here. Baraki asked, were we ever told what consequences Roland had for matricide? I don't remember if any were mentioned. An investigation, probably with his father, a trial. I don't think so.
no.
I think it's very clear when you walk into the room and you see the pink ball, Roland, dead mother, and his story lines up that the pink ball showed him that that's the witch.
yeah.
I think that kind of lines up that
That's-
you don't have to
Well,
ask too many questions.
Yeah, this one's wrapped up, boys.
This is Occam's razor. Usually the
Yeah.
simplest answer is the right one.
Yeah, and here's the really hard question to ask. What do you think Steven's feelings are on this?
Again, I think it depends on if you're
We don't know Steven
Yeah.
well enough to actually fall on. We can't project everything with Roland onto him.
no.
But then again, what if he's worse?
I mean, we got the look at this. Look at the scene with him in the whore's room and everything like that. He is kind of like,
Yeah, so it's like, what if he's actually worse than Roland in some ways? It's like, maybe he's just like, well, that actually worked out a lot better than I thought.
Why isn't he moving on Martin? Why is he waiting 2 years?
Yeah.
Because he has a plan, Arthur.
He's got a plan.
There's things at work here that Steven is letting happen. And so for me, that's where it's like, one, he's not going to punish Roland for this. Very obvious he was tricked.
And I don't think the society would either. Like, honestly, outside of the gunslingers, nobody else probably has to really be made that much aware of it. Like, you could just say
she passed away.
Yeah, exactly. So
closed casket, no questions. Please send flowers.
Yeah, indeed.
Make a donation to the Gilead Children's Fund instead of in lieu of sending flowers.
GoFundMe.
They set up a GoFundMe for fuck.
So Jake asked what happened to the ball. Roland said he did not know. He fainted. So that's another part of it. You're coming into a fainted Roland. He woke up with it still just being the two of them. No one had come to the sound of the shots. The walls were thick. He took the belt covered in her blood and wore it for many years and had since lost it, which was a tale for another day, but he would tell them as it was part of the tower journey. Roland went on to say that while
it was part of the tower journey, or if it was part of the tower journey.
He said it was.
It was.
I had to reread that because I'm like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
Roland went on to say, while no one came to investigate the gunfire, someone did come and take the ball. Eddie asked if it was Rhea. Roland said he did not think that she was that close, at least physically, but she had a way of making friends. He then says that he did see her again, but explained no further, but a gleam rose in his eyes. So let's all just savor that for a moment, because, yeah.
There are other worlds than these. Please.
Eddie had seen that before, and it meant killing. Jake took the note and asked if he knew what it meant. Roland said he thinks it is a sigil of the place that he saw when he went into the ball the first time, a place called Thunderclap. He thinks that they will meet this thing called Flagg again, and I
thing.
I don't.
Thing.
I will not abide. I will not abide such slander.
It's not slander, sir.
He said that the Kansas they came through was his Kansas, and the plague was his plague, which that's also slander. You know, I know you were trying to pull that whole thing in the stand that it was all Flagg's fault somehow. But, and then that shitty fucking adaptation had to just add fuel to your nonsense conspiracy theories. Earlier when you said the Earth is flat was more realistic than Flagg being involved in Captain Trips.
Flagg is there with a lot of shenanigans. Just because he's not shown doesn't mean that he's not there.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Not influencing people, talking in general's ear, saying, "Hey, it'd be good to think of a massive
of course, this isn't a stand, book club, but I will say, Flagg was very unknowing because all power started to come. It's like something was coming. He could sense that something's on the horizon. He's like, and because suddenly he could now levitate. Like that, there's like a weird becoming with Flagg that's like, I almost wonder if I don't know. He's an interesting character.
Interesting, yes. Good, no.
Oh, he's the best. No. Susanna said it may not stay there though. Eddie says it could travel. Jake said to their world, and Roland said their world or any other. So that's a happy thought.
No.
Of course it is Flagg that took the glass, right? He has his way of getting around. We just established that.
Oh yeah.
Not even a chapter ago. Like
my note here. I always figured Flagg used Gabrielle one last time to get the ball out of where Steven had it locked up. I bet there's protections there. And so she gets it out. Rhea used the opportunity to get her revenge, and then Flagg whisked it away. That's always been my headcanon.
Yeah.
That's what happened to it, because I don't think Rhea got it back.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Because I think that if she did, for one, I think it kills her. I don't think she has much life left in her for that thing.
If she did get it back, Roland, Cuthbert, and Alan would be fucking dead.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Rhea does have a way of making friends. That's an interesting thought. Vermont.
No.
Roland slandering Flagg here and blaming Captain Trips on Flagg. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
So, okay. I saw your note here and I Googled it. Has King ever said anything about that? Has that ever come up in discussion? No, I couldn't find anything. I found a couple Reddit posts where everyone's like, yeah, I always assumed that it was Flagg. I always assumed it was Flagg. And I saw a couple people pointing out the exact same truths that you were pointing out. The only time it's ever been shown to be Flagg is the miniseries.
Yeah.
It's the only time.
And we know that doesn't count for anything.
And that doesn't count for anything. But
It's almost as bad as sentient mist.
oh god, that's not even in the same ball. That's not even the same planet. That is far different, sir.
Or Tommy Knockers.
I saw a couple people. Dude, I don't know which one's worse, sentient mist or Tommy Knockers. Now that's a debate to have on another day. But I did see someone say, I always assumed that it wasn't the direct result of Flagg, but Flagg is the one who fucked up the world enough to that where a super flu is being created. And I went, now that's a thought. Because he's shown to be a schemer and showing up to these meetings and pushing terrorists and shit like that.
Yeah.
I think that if you're going to blame Flagg, that's the only way that you can do it.
Does he appear into a Joint Chiefs of Staff meeting where
whispers in someone's ear? Super flu. That's a good idea. Who the fuck said that? Super flu.
Yeah, pretty much. Trips might indeed find its way to any number of worlds.
Ugh, that's terrifying.
That's an interesting thought there. Susanna asked who is the Crimson King, and classic Roland doesn't know, because I'm just taking a little shot here. But yeah, there's a lot of things Roland has to tell us I don't know about.
Yeah.
And it really irritates me as a reader that wants to know more. God damn it.
I want it all. Explain it all. A to Z.
Explain everything. They were quiet then as Roland looked back at the palace where he had faced the false wizard in a true memory, and through that reopened the door to his own world, our world. Eddie thought, slipping his arms around Susanna. He thought that it was their world now. If they wound up back in America before this is all over, they would go back as strangers. Theirs was a world of beams and guardians in the Dark Tower. Eddie said that there was some daylight left and put his hand on Roland's shoulder. Roland immediately covered it with his own hand. Eddie asked if he wanted to use it or what. Roland said, yes, let's use it. Susanna asked about the shoes that were now in a pile. Eddie said to leave them there. They had served their purpose. He then told Susanna to get in her chair. Roland said all God's children have shoes. And he says it very normal there, not no tone to
all
it.
God's children have shoes.
And asked Susanna if that's what she had said. She said that was the essence of it. And she makes a little remark about, losing the gist of it there. Roland said that then they would have to find others if God willed it, which I have to point out. You said earlier Roland was taking his old boots out, so all the rest of them are barefoot. And he's still got his shit. God damn. That's what a villain he is there.
He has they have their shoes.
I was just acting like he's saying if they'll find others if God willed it. That kind of gives me the impression that they don't have their shoes.
Oh.
Roland's knapsack, guess he didn't take all their stuff to put it in there, just his own. Jake checked his bags and saw that food had been added by some unknown hand.
Don't trust it.
What a good hand. He asked Eddie who packed this stuff, and Eddie said the Keebler elves. Who else? And then he said, let's go. So, man, the first time reading it, this is so frustrating to get so small bits of the larger story and want more, and to see the characters even ask more questions, like Susanna asked about the Crimson King and Roland not knowing. God, that's fucking frustrating.
Like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, man, and we're so far into the series too that just to still not have answers. We did get some answers last episode or so.
Yeah,
we had some Dark Tower answers, but and my next note. So Roland facing Flagg again and revealing the last of his story returns him back to Midworld. That's kind of a. Kind of an interesting thing there.
Yep.
And then Eddie taking charge here a bit.
He is. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Indeed.
And then Eddie also talking about Midworld as their own world instead of America. Their world is the land of beams, towers,
guardians
and stuff like that. I found that very enlightening. Like, back to, you could say it, but do you mean it? This is just kind of like, hey, here's Exhibit A, Your Honor.
Yeah. And then some mystery food, almost certainly given to them by the beloved Randall Flagg.
Not beloved. No.
Oh,
that's better.
Don't you go mocking my notes. He is not evil, sir.
Evil.
Beloved.
All right, last subchapter 5 of the whole book. They clustered near the grove. This is a direct quote. I'm just going to quote the whole subchapter. It's not very long. 5 wanderers on the face of an empty land. Ahead of them, running across the plain, was a line in the grass which exactly matched the lane of rushing clouds in the sky. The line was nothing so obvious as a path, but to the awakened eye, the way that everything bent in the same direction was as clear as a painted stripe. The path of the beam. Somewhere ahead, where this beam intersected all the others, stood the Dark Tower. Eddie thought that if the wind were right, he would almost be able to smell its sullen stone. And roses. The dusky scent of roses. He took Susanna's hand as she sat in her chair. Susanna took Roland's. Roland took Jake's. Oi stood 2 paces before them, head up, scenting the autumn air that combed his fur with unseen fingers. His gold-ring eyes were wide. We are ka-tet, Eddie said. It crossed his mind to wonder how much he'd changed how he had become a stranger even to himself. We are one from many. Ka-tet, Susanna said. We are one from many. One from many, Jake said. Come on, let's go. Bird and bear and hare and fish, Eddie thought. With Oi in the lead, they once more set out for the Dark Tower, walking along the path of the beam. And thus endeth the lesson.
Indeed. And indeed, not a fucking cliffhanger.
Not a cliffhanger.
God damn it. Baraki mentions they had to wait another 6 years for the next book after this, too.
This is true.
So it's damn near the same length as because there's 7 years between the
3 and 4
for the cliffhanger payoff. So goddamn.
My only note here: what an ending! What a picture that would make. I wish someone would draw this, paint this, whatever. The 4 of them linked hands with an Oi in front, just beautiful with the path of the beam ahead of them.
Yeah. No, 100%. All right, so let's jump to the afterword. I do want to just kind of hit this real quick. So King said the trial was written in the spring of 1970, while Steve Entering the Horror's Den was written in the summer of 96. King talked about it, summing up the weirdness of the Dark Tower series. He then calls his universe the solar system and the Dark Tower the Jupiter. He said that one step further, that the Dark Tower series contains all others, saying that there's a place in Midworld for Flagg, Ralph Roberts, which is from Bag of Bones and Insomnia, and the Wandering Boys of the Eyes of the Dragon, and even Father Callahan from Salem's Lot, who rode out of the town and into Thunderclap. So that's an interesting little note there.
Yeah.
He says they all seem to finish up in Midworld. Cool to see, to piece that together where everything was written. Us hardcore nerds tend to really find that kind of stuff interesting. The fact that the trial was in 1970 written and then 1996 for the Horror's Den, like that's wild. Also, King tells us we're going to meet Father Callahan in Thunderclap. That's kind of crazy. So he talked about how the gap between these books was too long and many howled in protest, and he apologized for it. He said it's hard to begin. He said he always knew that this book would circle back to be on Roland's backstory and his first love affair, and he was scared to death of telling that story because love is hard. He said he dallied and temporized and procrastinated, and the book went years without going unwritten. He finally began to write it on his Macintosh Power book, driving from Colorado to Maine after finishing the Shining miniseries. So that gives us some context too. So that would have been 96, like pretty
Came
cool.
out in 97.
Driving through Nebraska, where he had been inspired to write Children of the Corn. That if he did not start writing soon, he might never pick it up again.
That would have been a tragedy.
Yeah, almost be like George R.R. Martin. He told himself that he no longer knew the truths of the young romantic love, and he only knew the decades of marriage. But some voice told him that it would help him with that. He did not know that voice, but recognized it later as the voice of the boy who started the series, and it was good that he deserved the credit. But if there's blame, that would be mistranslation. This would be blamed on older King. He goes to thank all those who helped him. He mentions that at the end that he thought that he might actually live long enough to complete the cycle of stories. Knock on wood. He said 2 more primaries, primarily set in Midworld, he thinks, and 1 primarily set in our world concerning the vacant lot in the Rose. And he said that it was in terrible danger. He then finished saying that Roland and his tet would soon come to Thunderclap and beyond, and all may not live to reach the tower, but those who do would stand and be true. And he signed it from Lovell, Maine, October 27th, 1996.
Awesome.
So yeah, King, the gap was brutal, especially when you leave off on a fucking cliffhanger. Jesus Christ. Interesting to see that even the grizzled veteran King scared to write something.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. And then live long enough to see them finish them, but barely. So, let's jump over real quick to the spoiler section. I think we have a couple notes to cover here.
Warning, spoilers ahead. Warning, spoilers ahead. Warning, spoilers ahead.
All right. I'm glad we started early because we're getting close to
we're very
here.
close to time.
So, the story of the belt that Roland said is relevant to the tower journey, but then never comes back.
Yeah.
That's feels like a dropped thing there. I mean, I guess we do have a Dark Tower book coming out here in a few months, but
I hope that, and then a couple of the other characters mentioned here in the Afterword are brought back.
Yeah. So
like you said they would be.
Yeah. So the fact they're spun off on the path of the beam and then out of Midworld and only allowed to return after Roland finishes his tale, I think that might be a further hint to my interpretation of the ending. This repeating of the cycle is a judgment on Roland, and like being allowed to return to the path. It's after some task is performed. It's almost like what is it in Catholicism? Not hell, but the mid place between hell. I'm blanking on the name of it. Like
Purgatory?
yes, purgatory.
Isn't purgatory below hell?
No, it's
Oh.
like a holding spot where you go and you spend time there and you get out of it and can go to heaven once you pay for whatever. Yeah. So when there's some larger redemption earned, Roland will be allowed rest of either death or escape potentially. So I think this kind of works a little bit. The fact they're basically pulled off the beam, I think I've kind of missed that a little bit over time. And like, yeah, I think I always just get so caught up in the story that I miss the fact that they've lost the beam. They're not in the right world anymore type stuff. So.
Yeah.
And then I find it interesting that Eddie recommits, and he kind of speaks to all of them. They're all allowed to agree, but in light of Susanna's end, I keep a close eye on her mentality as we've been going through this. And I will say there's nothing here to contradict my thought process that her commitment is to Eddie and Jake and the people, not the tower. Because like he says, we're with you. It's like, okay, so if he asserts himself in that, then when he goes through and Susanna, it's like, but hers is a tie to him though. It's not to the tower. Like Eddie's a tower junkie. I don't think Susanna is. I don't think this changes anything on that. Because now I'm like hyper fixated on anything we get that might contradict that. Because I'll throw it out the window.
I just wonder also if I think we've had this conversation before. It just might not be conscious. She might just be saying, "Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to the tower." But when Eddie dies, that's when it breaks, and she realizes, "Oh no, fuck this shit!
Like this
This shit.
Yeah.
I'm out."
Yeah,
you know, kind of thing.
See ya.
Yeah,
100%.
So this note's gonna go a little interesting because I wrote this, and I just want you to hear the whole thing before you say anything. Okay. The funny thing is, I'm having the opposite happen to me. You're convinced about your ending and stuff like that. Not the Susanna thing, but the note before that. I believe more and more that Roland is either damned to repeat no matter what he does or something else has to change. That the obsession doesn't make sense. He gives all of them a chance to renege. And then literally I stopped. I literally stopped myself thinking right here. I stopped for probably 5 minutes typing this out. I'm leaving this to show my thought process. Roland gave the others a chance to renege, but he never said a damn word about himself stopping.
Yeah.
So that's just, I literally was typing out a counter argument to your whole thing because we disagree on the ending. We have different points of view, and I was literally coming up with a counterpoint to that and literally stopped myself and went, well, hold on. Roland said, you guys can leave. He never said, I'm going with you. Yeah. He never said, I'm crying off the tower. There's never a moment where Roland goes, you know what, maybe I shouldn't go to the tower.
And he only says maybe he's found people that might be more important than the tower. Yeah. So that's a
he
question.
Says this might be his last chance to love. This might be his only chance to love again.
Yeah.
And everything. But is he taking that chance? No. Nah, you didn't say the magic word. You know, that kind of thing. So I literally wanted to leave that because where I write, I literally stopped myself. I stopped for probably 5 minutes and just stared at my computer screen going, holy fuck. That blows a hole completely in my argument because Roland never said a damn thing about himself stopping.
Yeah.
Because if he truly was seeking to go with them, he would have said something.
Yeah. And then Baraki says the Oracle said that he could cry off and should, but Roland said I can't. He is sworn, or I am sworn. So Roland is so 100%. But yeah, that's it. That is it for book 4. It is wrapped. Starting next month, we are going to be diving our way into Wolves of the Kala. So.
Excellent.
But yeah, let's go ahead and hit the outro stuff real quick before we sign off here. So yeah, if you want to subscribe to us and do it on any podcasting service of your choice, stream us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, wherever. If you want to join the live streams here, you can do youtube.com/darktowerpalaver, be part of the live chats or watch old episodes if you want. You comment on them and stuff for sure if you want, and we could, I'll definitely try to respond to that as much as I can. I usually do a good job of it, I think. And of course, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Also, the show notes are over at darktowerpalaver.com, and support the show at patreon.com/darktowerpalaver. And if you want to contact us, maybe give us, your parting Ermot comments.
Never again. We're never going to mention that name again. You can email us, show@darktowerpalaver.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Threads. It's Dark Tower Palaver, all one word. And then our blue sky is at darktowerpalaver.bsky.social. Our Twitter is at darktowerpod. That's at darktowerpod. And then we're on facebook.com/darktowerpalaver. And then tpublic.com/user/darktowerpalaver to get our merchandise.
Indeed. And we'll be back next week because I guess we forgot to mention that or we mentioned on the last episode
Yeah.
we moved this one, but it was at the very end of the episode. But yeah, so we are technically off schedule, so we are back a week from today for our next roundtable. So join us then. And I guess if you're on the Patreon side, we'll be back less than a week for our It Part 2 discussion
Yeah.
for Patreon. So
On the third? On the third.
yes.
And
yes,
Baraki
indeed.
says, nice one, guys. Always the best boy. That is second best boy. Just remember.
All right, but yeah, we'll sign off as we always do by saying long days and pleasant nights.
Long days and pleasant nights, folks.
Oi.
All right, everyone in the chat, thank y'all. See you guys next week if you're here. I know it's the 4th of July, and those of us in America a lot of times have. I mean, sometimes it's a later in the evening type thing that you have things. But if we see you, we see you. If not, we'll see you in Wolves of the Kala next month.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
The best
All
book.
right, see you guys.
Bye, everyone.